On today's episode of Bosch Professional Live UK, we're here with Plumberparts looking at his vast array of Bosch Professional power tools.
And as you can see, all these power tools I've used over many years, and I cannot wait to tell you about how they've saved me on many occasions.
In addition, we'll take a look at some tools that maybe we can make Jimmy's life a little bit easier, and some accessories to help him out as well.
I can't wait. Also got a little present. We've got the water turned off in the chlorophyll. That was good, wasn't it? Nice. That was good, wasn't it? Do you like that? A bit of YouTubey transition there. Tell you what, that's taken some punishment there. What a drill. He's just standing sat over there. Oh, that's great.
Well, as we said already in our little teaser, we're a little bit away from home, not too far. You're over here in Cambridge.
Gorgeous, beautiful Cambridge.
Can I give away your secret location? Somewhere.
Yeah, it's underground, so you're not going to be able to find it.
Exactly. So we've decided, you know, you've been asking Dan and I for many, years now, actually, Jimmy. They wanted us to get out of the Denham studio. I think they wanted us to come on site, but we've met you halfway because obviously doing a live stream on site, not the easiest thing to do.
We could have done it at Phil's house yesterday, and he does supply a lovely sausage sandwich, but unfortunately I don't think it would have all fitted in his living room. And he has two annoying dogs that resemble cats.
Oh, fair point.
We couldn't do it there.
So, Jimmy, we've probably already talked about what we were going to do on the little teaser videos, but in general, what do you think? What are we up to today?
Well, I mean, I've got my spread of tools out in front of us here today, and all of them, as you can see, have been battered and bruised over the lifetime in the back of the van, and also probably used for quite a lot of things you don't really want me to use them for, like hammers and stuff like that.
We know what people really use tools for.
Well, it's just getting the job done, and sometimes it's a good thing to have a reliable product behind you that you can use as a hammer at any time.
Well, thank you.
But also to cut stuff as well. I mean, I've used this as a hammer loads of time. But yeah, so we're going to have a look through my tools today, and also get some info from you, someone who really knows about it.
Well, from my side, obviously, look, I'm a power tool trainer, Danny as well. We're not tradesmen, all right? We've done a little bit around the power tools and stuff.
I have some questions about that.
We're professional power tool trainers. You're a professional tradie, so we obviously want to know what you're using our tools for, what you like, and to be honest, this is a live stream. We want to know what you don't like, or more importantly, what you'd like to improve.
What I want as well. There's a few things that I want in life, and hopefully you're going to be able to solve them today.
Exactly. So what we've obviously see is quite a good range of power tools that you've got in your tool bag. We're going to also hopefully excite you with some new tools that might be replacing some of the older ones you've got, and talk about why you might want to upgrade to a newer machine, or maybe there might be some entirely different and new bits of technology out there that might excite you.
Okay, I'm very, very easily excited by hard drilling tools, so I'm looking forward to hearing about it.
Right, okay, so before we get started, maybe Danny, who have we got in the chat? Any of the regulars, as always?
Right, actually, we do have some regulars in the chat. We've got PF Cutters, as we'd expect.
Always.
Very, very dedicated viewer. We've got Radine, again, another dedicated viewer there. Big Geordie Dave, not someone I've seen before.
Big Geordie Dave, is he a Plumberparts fan? Is he a Plumberparts fan?
It could well be.
A lot of my fans are big and Geordies. So could be that.
Could be. And Casa as well, who's come up with a rather interesting question, which I will put to the guys a bit later on. I won't spoil the surprise for them though.
Nice, right. Okay, well, let's get started. And we'll go through some of your tools first, and then what we'll do is we'll check in and see if we've got any questions, maybe about some of the tools that we've got on the desk. Maybe they might ask you about any sneaky tips and tricks in regards to the plumbing trade. Don't want to give away too many secrets, right?
Yeah, okay. And also on the agenda a little bit as well, I've got my own questions here for Chris today. I'm going to sprinkle throughout this live stream, so don't go anywhere.
This could go terribly wrong. We'll find out. So,
Sure, I'll try and catch you out.
Right, so let's get started with the first product. And we've decided to go with some big hitters. So we're looking at rotary hammer drills. So
We're going to start with the beast.
We're going to start with the big boys. We're going to start with the GBH, and I can see here you've got a well-used GBH 18V-26. This one's the F model.
Why is it called the GBH? What's that for?
Gewöhnlich Bosch hammer.
Right, okay.
So a professional or bore hammer machine,
Yeah, I'm always, I don't know if you guys out there, I always struggle with like the names of tools. I know you guys have to have a way of saying what it is.
Yeah, we have to be super logical because we're German.
Yeah.
And with the professional power tools, it's always those three letters that denote what type of tool it is.
Okay, so the 18 volt, 26?
Well, 26 stands for the maximum drilling diameter.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
Well, in theory, have you exceeded that, I'm sure?
Yes, I've used this to do 110 mil
cores. Yeah, cores are slightly different, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's done a lot of work in its time. It's been used for lots of things it shouldn't have been. This bit's never on it.
He's only put that on for me.
I only put it on because you said, you were like, oh, you don't have it on there. So when I dug it out the back of the van, it's still there.
Look how clean it is. Yeah, I like it. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, can you get a close-up on this? You got a nice little close-up on this?
Everything else is well used. That auxiliary handle.
Yeah, I mean, this thing, and also, I don't know if anyone's watching who actually follow my channel, but I'm lucky enough to be building a swimming pool. Don't worry, mate. When it's open, you can come round. Darling. And I've left this out in the rain quite a few times. God, you're going to hate me for that, aren't you? But it still works. I mean, it's great.
I mean, to be honest, obviously they're not designed, not IP rated like all the all air-cooled power tools.
Yeah.
They can't be IP rated, but obviously they are designed to be used on a job site. And we know that although you're not supposed to abuse them, they obviously built to a high standard.
Yeah, they do. And I know that this one has the chuck that you can take out of it.
That's right, yeah.
But I never have. Generally, I just have my SDS bits on this. All my bits are like everything from like 5.5 mil for just like when I'm pinning up radiators and stuff like that. 7 or 8 mil for your brown plugs, and then obviously all the way up to 110 mil core bits. Jeremy's, as I like to call them. I use this for all the time.
Well, there's two versions because obviously Jimmy's gone for the F model, which means it has the ability to swap out the different chucks. So you can use the 3-jaw chucks, quite easy to swap over. But if you don't need the 3-jaw chuck, if you're just using SDS Plus bits, then you can just go for the normal non-F model.
What's the max diameter for that chuck?
That's a 13 mil chuck.
He's got it in there, hasn't he?
Somewhere in my brain I've got it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So this is actually a slightly older machine.
Yeah.
So sometimes we're going to be testing some of our product knowledge with some of the machines that we've had in a range for quite a few years actually.
Yeah.
And a lot of them actually haven't been replaced because honestly, if it ain't broke, why fix it? And the 26 is still a current machine.
Yeah, and some of the other things, when we get to them later on in the live stream, you were like, man, I can't believe you've still got that and it's still going. So yeah, it's quite cool. One thing I do like about this, a lot of tools, sometimes you think, oh, well, they've got like a gimmick on it with the slow start. So you've got this like 100% thing where you can just go straight in there and upset your son who's trying to sleep upstairs. Or you've got the 70% start, so it kind of starts off a lot slower. And then it sort of brings up into full, lovely drilling mode.
Yeah,
which I like.
It's like a soft start. We've got some other machines in the range where you can, it's the same kind of toggle. We did away with the older switch design.
Yeah.
Instead we have, and I'll show you on a newer machine where you've got a control panel here where you can actually, on certain machines, you can program how slow you want that power progression to go on. But obviously the machine itself has that, oh, hello, it's excited. The variable speed trigger. Okay, so you can manually control how quickly it ramps
Figure it up and that. And get it
right, exactly. But if you're feeling a bit lazy, then you can just set it.
Yeah, genuinely has a use, because where we are at the moment, I kind of work out in the sticks most of the time, and a lot of the holes that I have to drill are on old clunch walls that are 600 years old. So to have that slow start up like that's really handy for that. You don't
it's exactly what it's for.
Blow all that out. So yeah, it's really good.
One feature this machine had, I don't know if hopefully you've never had to worry about it, is the machine features obviously kickback protection. On this older machine, I think we even used to refer to it as ERC. Isn't that right, Dan? Electronic rotation control, I think we used to call it.
Yep. ERC.
ERC. The same thing again. If the machine was to catch, hopefully that hasn't happened to you. Not on our machines. You're using it correctly, I'm sure.
It did happen on another machine, but not. Not a Bosch one.
Yes, but if it was unfortunate to happen, how that works is it's got a small little sensor in there, an accelerometer essentially, from our automotive division actually, part of what was it? I think it's anti-skid control. I think it was.
So after my use of it, we can now rename this the GBH 18 volt 110F, not the 26F.
Well, don't quote us on that one. Yeah, no, they get very particular about the naming structure. You see, But so that electronic rotation control that helps, or that kickback protection, kickback control helps reduce the chance of injury if the machine spins out of control. So even a machine this, we'll say old, historic. No, it's not that old.
Just a baby, and I love it.
I had that on that. Now, one thing. I'm not going to get into all the specs on it. As I said, this is up to a maximum diameter officially of 26 millimeter drill bits. It even says on the side there exactly what you're supposed to be doing. 68 mil. 68 mil for coring. Obviously, it can exceed that, but it's not recommended, of course. But we know what Jimmy's like, and we know what you guys are like.
I was using the Bosch core bits yesterday at a job. I was doing 1.5 inches through a wall, and one of the people we put the video out yesterday, and someone commented straight away, "You're using hammer on core bits," and I was like, "Yeah, I just wanted to get through a little bit quicker." I don't know, I do things wrong quite a lot of the time.
Well, I mean, that's another reason why some people would like to buy the 3-jaw chuck, especially if they're using coring. On this machine, obviously, you can switch that off, but sometimes they might not have an SDS core, for example. So you can, on this one, just set it for rotary, if they're using the SDS. If not, Danny always likes to remind people, when you use the 3-jaw chuck, that's mechanically isolated from the hammer mechanism. So even on machines, some Bosch machines where you can't switch off hammer, then you can be using an accessory like that. So you can use... you can use it without the hammer.
This is my accessory. This one came with this drill, and you can still see it's kind of like, I mean, it's pretty shiny still. So.
But again, again, we're not going to spend too much time going into the specs of the machine. We want to talk about what kinds of things you use it for. You've kind of already told us what you use this tool for. What we want to do is obviously show some things that you might not have, which would be quite interesting, and maybe show some alternative models. The first thing, which I noticed you haven't got,
I know. So
something like this.
It came out of the back of the van when these guys turned up, and I was like, oh,
right. So we've been going. So what we've been doing, Jimmy, on our live stream is we've been going on quite a bit about how the new, at least the UK, and there's a global regulation. There's a lot more focus on silica dust. So dust management as a topic is getting really serious. I even saw some stuff in the UK where they were even tempted. There's even discussions about banning the processing of
especially for
stone and marble and stuff like that in
kitchen workshops. It's a really big deal. A lot of people getting, it's coming up to be a bit like asbestos for people like mesothelioma and things like that. It's it's a big danger. So having some sort of extract at source like this.
So this doesn't count as what they would refer to as LEV, so a local exhaust ventilation system, because it's not a classified filter system. It's not using an external dust extractor. But however, as it fits onto the machine, as simple as this.
It's on an old machine, guys.
No.
Look at it now.
It sits on there now, and you hear in a moment, hopefully on the mics, depends on whether or not Ollie set it up. Right, so it uses the battery on the machine to basically run a small little extraction fan that's going to pull dust through here. I think it's up to a maximum of 16 millimeter diameter bits, and it pulls into a small little HEPA filter. So it's not
Is that how you clip it out under the bottom to clean it out?
That's right, yeah. So this one's got a little bit of dust in it, so we use it all the time because honestly, even though it's not a classified filter, it really pulls in a lot of dust.
Well, I mean, HEPA's...
It's still pretty good, and again, remember, when it comes to the health and safety officers, if you're trying to minimise the amount of dust you're producing on site, especially if you're working with a large group of guys, you're just trying to keep that dust to a minimum. They look upon these kinds of onboard extraction systems quite favourably. Because,
I mean, for me, this is the sort of thing I'd use, like pinning radiators to the wall at a customer's house, because you can lay your dust sheets down. Honest, do it, and but you still get loads of dust on top of like skirting boards and things like that. How long does the battery last? Like, is it drain it down a lot further, a lot quicker?
It's not. Or? It's one of those things that it will obviously have an effect, but it's not hydraulic. It's not like I generally don't think you're really going to notice with and without. Not if you're doing any kind of serious work. And I guess the more important thing is. It's the difference between having it and not having it is absolutely night and day. I mean, this is yours now, so you can test it. and you can let us know. We've got loads of side-by-side videos that show it. The difference is obviously going to be a tremendous amount of dust.
Now
Even if just doing a 100 millimeter by 10 millimeter hole, it produces a lot of dust.
So now it's mine. Can I venture an improvement?
Go on then.
Tiny little LED on the front.
Well, see now, right? Okay, hold your horses.
Because you cover up the because these are great LEDs on them.
Yes, that's right.
Covering up the LED.
Now that is that is a consideration. So what we should do actually. Was that a good segue? Was that you trying to do a segue? Because if you didn't mean to, it's the perfect segue because I want to show you a different tool. So I'm going to put your lovely machine.
Well, I mean, can we all just appreciate how much chunkier that looks now? You know, turn up to a customer's house with that, they're going to be like, wow.
Right.
So this is why I'm paying him £60 an hour.
Yeah, so exactly right. So so what you're looking at that's going to be the GDE 18V-16, and this is compatible with quite a few of our rotary hammers. This one, obviously, the 26, the non-26F, the 24C, and also the 28 and the 28CF. So this is
the 110.
Well. Sorry, I've got another.
Oh, hello.
I've got a little machine.
Of course, like a little side holster, isn't it?
That's right. So one of my favourite machines of the last few years is going to be this little one here. So
this on there?
No, I don't need that one.
Okay.
Why? Because this is the GBH 18V-22. Okay, it's a nice little compact saw machine, compact STS plus hammer. Now it's not as powerful as the one you've got. It will still drill up to a maximum diameter of 22 millimeters, but as you can see, it's much smaller.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys out there that don't need to drill up to 26.
Yeah,
they're quite happy working in maybe the 10 to 16 range with the ability to go up to 22. Still full function. Okay, same like yours, has vibration reduction.
Yeah.
Has kickback control.
Yeah.
All right, as well. And this is a entry-level machine, so a much more affordable machine compared to the 26. For that to have kickback control as well as vibration reduction actually makes me really warm inside. Happy.
Does it have a clip, belt clip?
Oh, I don't know. Danny, do you remember? I can't remember. We tend not to put our clips on. I don't think it comes with a clip.
This is belt clippable. This is.
I think instead what you do is you have a little lanyard around there. This is what we call, there's a little lanyard.
Yeah, there you go. So this is like the perfect tool, I'd say, if you're going up and down steps. I mean, I wear those big sort of leather pouches sometimes, especially if I'm first fixing. This would just sit in that pouch. I mean, I'd have that there, but that'd sit in that pouch quite nicely just for you to get up there and do a bit of drilling.
So obviously we've designed this machine for primarily anything that you're doing a lot of fatiguing work, if you're working overhead, anything at height, perfect machine. But here in the UK, a lot of people do a lot of work with just this type of hammer drill.
Yeah.
Now, there you go. This is what I was going to say. So slightly different. Now, this machine has its own onboard dust extraction as well.
Do I get to keep this as well?
Yes, you do. You could test this one as well for us because look, we know this one does a lot of work for you. Maybe you don't always need it.
Yeah.
Now, this dust extraction, because you made that comment, it's almost as if it was a segue, but you didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, has it got a light on it?
There's your little LED light. So people might be wondering, why is the dust extraction offset to one side? Actually, specifically, just to have a small LED.
Yeah.
And as you can hear, that really doing the extraction for you.
Yeah.
This is so as I said, GBH 18V-22 hammer, and this is the GDE dust extraction, so G dust extraction, 18V-12, so a maximum diameter 12 millimeter, so a little smaller, okay, fine, with this offset arm here. And another advantage, it's up to a maximum of 100 millimeters, but you can see here, you could set the depth as well.
So that's quite handy if you're putting plugs in and stuff and you don't want to screw too deep.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
So two little hammers, well, I wouldn't call that necessarily little, we've got loads of hammers in the range, all the way up to our really big bi-turbo brushless, like the GBH 18V-45C.
It's one of my favourites.
Have you got one of those as well?
I don't know. It's just the codes, isn't it?
But yeah, honestly, we've got when it comes to hammers, that's one of the things that Bosch do really well. We've got over like 90, I think it's 90 years, Dan, isn't it, of heritage when it comes to hammers. First ever hammer was in 1932, so you can imagine
over 90 years now.
Over 90 years, yeah. So we've got plenty in the range. So anything that to suit your requirements, even if you're just doing stuff like, mate, a lot of people just use them for removing render, like a lot of plasterers and stuff do that. So we've got a wide range of different products, but you're 26, great. Now that you've got a GDE, so you can be a bit dust-free.
Yeah,
you can also
especially like I say, for doing rads and stuff, it's perfect.
Right, yeah, and you can also test this little one as well for those smaller applications as well.
Yeah, like pinning pipe clips and stuff like that. Yeah, no, I'll give that to my apprentice.
Oh,
But
good.
if I had another one,
Oh,
never again.
All right, so let's have a little pause because then after we've done that little bit of hammers.
Yeah.
So Danny, have we got any questions we want to pick up on?
Do have some questions. Actually, quite a lot have been flying in. First off, though, like to say hello to Marcus Horn. He has actually turned up in the chat. I've just noticed.
Mwah.
Oh dear. The other, you put me right off now, Jimmy. So the Johnny Silviera would like to know if there's any technology, or would like to see a technology that would stop the tool before it pierces a pipe or electrical behind it.
Oh, wow, that would be amazing. Can I start with what that's happened to me at my friend's house? All right, I was just say to anyone, if you're ever going to go and do a job for a mate, just charge them a £5. Not because you want to earn a £5, but because if you don't charge them, something's going to go wrong. And in this case, I drilled straight through a pipe in their screed floor, through the mains.
Oh, you didn't use your Detect 200C, no?
I didn't have it then. Oh. And also the pipe was under a toilet, so it would have been a bit difficult to use.
Well,
yeah.
So when it comes to drills, I haven't heard of anything yet that's going to do any kind of strike safety detection. However, I can't tell you exactly, but there's a couple tools coming out soon. Can't give you too many details, that will have like an auto stop feature. So once, say for example, you're going through the drywall, for example, say with some kind of cutting machine. Once you go through, it'll automatically switch off. So if you were to go through and you were to catch something, you wouldn't cause any real damage. You might nick it, but you wouldn't, let's say, go right through it. So you can help reduce any potential damage. So like an auto stop feature. Yeah. But I can't tell you too much because that product hasn't launched.
Strike prevention system. Did you just make that up?
No, not quite. Or maybe I patented it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sell it to Bosch.
So in theory, I don't know when that product's coming out, but I know based on the type of product it is and how often you can easily over plunge, and I'm giving too much detail, through material, that happens. That can happen a lot. But when it comes to drills, that's a bit more challenging. I think, unfortunately, the only solution at the moment is prepare and pre-scan the area if you're able to.
If you can, yeah.
To try and avoid it. But yeah, that's interesting tech.
And I just want to say, back to my story, they should never put the pipe there. They run it straight diagonally across the floor.
That's normally an
under a
electrician.
toilet.
Isn't that normally an electrician's job to run the cable diagonally?
Right, why would you do that? But you're right, if I'd have scanned it, it would have been fine. But yeah, it's one of those things.
Any other ones, Dan?
Yes, got another one here. Actually related to the one. Did you say, Jimmy, that you had a detector or you regularly use a detector?
Yeah, I've got my, is it all right if I bring it out here? Yeah. So it's in a lovely clean pouch I've got here. This is my Bosch detector. Someone just want to know what I use?
200C.
Ash Home Services would like to know about the reliability or experience of the Bosch electrical stud detector, please.
Okay, so...
it's more than a stud detector. It's an everything detector.
I mean, yeah, so this one here, this is the Detect 200C that I've got. I've probably had it about 8 or 9 months. I've used it a lot, and as you can see, it's in quite good nick because I actually do put it back in the pouch.
Good man.
And it is worth a lot of money. I find it's very helpful on normal type walls. I think the one main drawback is that it can't go through Celotex because it's foil backed. It does a bit. It gives you, sometimes you can pick stuff up.
It's electromagnetic, and this is both EMF and radar based.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, foil just defeats all our detectors, and basically pretty much all detectors out there.
But like anything dot and dab, I was using it on a job that's actually going to be going out in a video next week. I was using this, on dot and dab. Any normal, I mean, let's face it, most walls have not got loads of Celotex in, so it's really, really useful for most walls. So I use it a lot. I just like the fact that you can see, there's different ways of seeing, like, augmented on the screen what you're doing. So sometimes it will show like a waveform, but sometimes it will literally say whether it's metal, whether it's live, how deep it is, if it's wood, stuff like that. And it picked up live wires.
Perfect.
And it's like, you don't want to go through a live wire, do you, and cause trouble. So
the reason why the Detects are very popular, and we've sold quite a few into some of the installers out there, is the fact that it's to do plastic pipes as well. Yeah. So a lot of the older technology, especially the ones that are just working on EMF, it's much harder, if anything, quite impossible for those products to detect plastic pipes, especially if they're empty, because there's just not enough difference between the material and the wall it's in.
And a lot of new builds, they had to start putting wire around the plastic pipes so you can scan for them.
But this model can detect water-filled plastic pipes as well as empty plastic pipes, because this is the top of the range detector we've got, up to that maximum detection range, looking for looking for metal in concrete up to 200 millimeters. So yeah, loads. I don't know. I think, Dan, we probably could hint, because this one has a SD card, which you may or may not know.
I wouldn't look on that.
No, we have the ability to update the firmware. There's actually been a few firmware updates to this machine. However, there's going to be one coming out hopefully in the very near future that is really going to transform this tool, because we've been doing a lot of tests recently all around the world to make this tool even more accurate. And hopefully, when that update comes out, that we get you to install it, and hopefully anyone else who's running one, and you can let us know how much of an improvement it's made.
I could get a job at Stansted Airport, couldn't I? Running it up there like that.
Stud finder, yep. And so
It's the oldest joke.
Please comment on that, please. The worst joke you've ever heard on a Bosch live stream.
it was one of Dan's. I stole it. It was Dan's.
Me.
So as you pointed out, it's more than just a stud finder. It finds metal, both ferrous and non-ferrous. It finds plastic pipes. It finds wooden studs. It will find live wires. It will also has leak detection as well. I don't know if you knew that, actually. You can, in theory, find leak detection, because the amount of water moisture in the material will be noticeable to the product.
How does it show it on the screen then when you've got that? Does it show a big blob or something?
No,
Mario shows up.
I think, well, I mean, Dan and I go into quite a lot of detail on our Detector live stream.
Yeah.
But on this particular model, if you set it for leak detection mode, it'll show you how strong the signal, or in the case of this, how strong the water signal is.
So any plumbers that come behind me after I've done a job will need to use this.
They could do.
To look for my leaks.
So I'm going to show Jim. I'm going to show Jimmy, but if you want to see it, you got
leakage detector.
leak detection,
Oh, man.
and
Okay,
essentially you won't.
Yeah.
There's
a tiny bit of moisture on the table
a
there.
tiny little bit, but you'd want to expect like a bigger peak than that for it to be a
okay.
proper leak detection.
Yeah, and use that in conjunction with my thermal cam as well. You can definitely see.
But honestly,
I
mean, this is the flagship detector we've got in the range currently. We're actually not really going to cover this product that much today, but we have. So good job that we've got a question about it.
Yeah, I have got the other bits and bobs in here, but the usual leads that everyone chucks away. USB-C, but other than that, great.
Because it's a C model, this is something else you can learn. If it's got a C in the name, that means most likely it's going to be what we call a connected product. Okay. In this case, because it's got obviously a USB-C cable, that's not the C, but anyway, or an SD card, it means you can actually you could take pictures essentially. You can scan up to, I think it was 30 meters down, scan a wall, save the result, and then you can download it if you wanted to make records or keep it for, especially if you're working in old housing. 30 meters, yeah.
Over 30 meters. Yeah.
So plenty of room. Okay, so
handy tool.
Yeah, really good. I mean, it's become more and more popular. I think what's happened over the last few years, actually, based on Danny and my experience, we've had a lot more people and companies asking about detection, because guess what? The insurance on every time they hit a water strike or a mains cable, obviously there's the health and safety to the operator and their employee, but really, big issue is going to be the amount of damage it causes.
It saves loads of money, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The one outlay of a good tool.
Exactly. As Dan and I always say, even on the most expensive machine, if you avoid one strike, you've made the money easy.
Yeah.
So good question. Who was that, Dan?
That was you've completely thrown me for six there.
Should we just call him Dan?
Yeah.
There we go. Well done, Dan.
It was Johnny Silver Ice again.
Thanks, Johnny. Nice.
Cheers, Johnny.
All right. Okay.
Hold on, I've got
you got more?
few questions.
Oh.
Dan's
got more questions.
I've got one for you and one for me, very briefly. Casa has asked if the GSB 16RE has a spindle lock on it. Now, this is one of the old corded drills, impact percussion drills that we do. No, it doesn't. That's an auto lock machine, so that has a spindle lock built in. So it's just a twist lock chuck. You don't have to lock anything to actually lock the chuck on that one. And the second question I have is completely lost.
Do you want another kiss, Dan?
No, it's okay. I'm still recovering from the previous one. It was from Lewis. Hi, do you have any news on the Bosch framers? The first fix nailers.
Okay.
And will it use nitrogen chamber like the concrete nail gun, or the same technology as the other second fix nailers?
And can it go through first fix plumbing pipes?
It will definitely go through.
Definitely do that.
Plumbing pipe. So we can't tell you too much because obviously the product hasn't released yet. We've been teasing for, God, I don't know how long, Dan, at least a couple of years of its development. I think the only thing we can leak is that it is going to be a nitrogen sprung. I think it's the only thing we can Yeah, I think I can leak that. So it's not going to be it's not going to be flywheel like the current range of second fix nailers. It will be using nitrogen, and also I think we are going to offer an ability for the user to just use normal air as well. So it should be maintained properly with a nitrogen, so properly maintained, but you can just use a bicycle pump, I believe. But don't quote me on that one because it hasn't launched yet. But we really need it.
Important questions now.
Okay.
I mean, that was a very important question, sorry, but I'm a plumber. First fix nailers just ruin my life sometimes. I've been there. Okay, question for you.
Uh-oh.
What's your worst DIY disaster?
My personal worst DIY.
Yes, personal.
Well, it's not really a disaster, and this is actually a recent job that I did, which is I redid my bathroom, and I thought,
Watching a certain YouTube channel?
No, I didn't need to. I didn't need to. I thought, I'm just going to wing it. No, because you're too good. You're too good. That's fine. I wanted to learn myself, and I didn't want to like cheat.
Okay.
And it's not a disaster. It's the fact that, and I'm sure this happens to everyone, and you as professionals.
Yeah, we have loads of disasters.
I just wanted to rip out the old unit. It's an old 1980s house, right?
Yeah.
It was all the original fittings. It was peach or cream. It was horrible.
Avocado. The old avocado.
Worst colours ever.
Yeah.
Bless. So I stripped it all out, and then as I started stripping out, I'm like, oh, the floor's got water damage. Oh no, I've got to replace that, haven't I? Took the tiles down behind the bath. Oh, that's got water damage as well. So I ended up having to strip
out everything.
And I wanted, my missus was like, oh, how long is it going to take? And I was like, we'll be without the toilet and stuff, maybe a day or something. I'll plug it all back in. No, took a week. And
I was going to say, is this why you went to the toilet when you got here straight away?
No, I've
just been denied sanitary access.
Luckily for me, I did it quite a while ago. But it's the fact of like, one little job that you think, I'll get it done in a couple of days, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It turns into a week and I'm stripping everything down. But it's never going to happen again. Put hardy down, hardy floors now, so no more water damage.
Okay, right, good. I wouldn't say it's 100% a disaster of your own, causings, but that'll do. Thank you, darling. Yeah.
Well, no, we'll leave it with that. We'll leave it with that.
Come back to it later.
There's plenty of disasters, mostly training disasters that haven't involved in the loss of limb, but they've been quite funny.
Fingers.
We've done. I think I did some disasters relatively recently on the live stream. Those demos, a demo that doesn't work because a demo never works first time when you're on camera.
Yeah. But that's what we're not doing any today, or are we? I think we are going to do one, aren't we?
We might do one or
We've
two.
got two, haven't we? Two demos to do.
Let's see how well we do today.
Yeah. On a tool that I've never used before and only saw about half an hour ago.
Yes.
So we'll see how we get on with that.
Okay, so see, look at that. This is the one thing that we always find out when doing live streams. Think, we'll just do a couple of hours, but we get some really cracking questions. We spend 40 minutes talking about it. So let's get on to the next product. The next machine we should have a look at is you've got a Flexiclick machine, your GSR 18V-60.
I've got a tiny little torque in there at the moment. So.
All right, so let me know. First off, okay, so GSR 18V-60 FC. So 60 Newton meters of max torque.
Okay.
And the FC means this is a Flexiclick model, which means you can change the heads.
Yeah.
So you've got a few heads here.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah,
these are the ones. These are the ones you use. There are more, but these are the main ones you seem to use.
One thing I want to say while we're on it now as well is I always silicone spray my batteries so they go on and off nice and easy.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else does that.
Tool maintenance also applies to the batteries. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what do you use this thing for?
Well, this is I generally use this as like my backup impact driver.
Okay.
So if I'm doing, for instance, standard wood screwing, you'll use a Phillips head too, okay? But then if you're also doing plasterboarding, you'll use a Posi 2.
Yeah.
So they're so slightly different, but they can make the difference between like a ripped screw head or not, and it's just hassle. So sometimes it's nice to have that there. But also this, I'm often doing like kitchen cabinets, and if you're screwing up kitchen cabinets, having this to be able to go up into the corner of a box, you know what? Sometimes I always get a bit muddled up on how to get this on it, but that's only because I'm not doing loads of kitchen cabinets all the time. But yeah, to have that in at the side at the top like that, and then you've got that access to there.
Yep.
And then obviously, actually, is this smart? This is my one.
That's yours as well.
You're right. He's trying to make my little 90. This is just great for screwing anything in a tight space.
Because you're dealing with basically, then it's just that's your head length, isn't it?
Yeah, and like first fixing into, you can put like a spade bit on that. You shouldn't do. But first fixing into stud work and stuff like that is really good.
You can, and I see plenty of people that do use the.
I mean, I generally don't use this because I just have my other SDS just ready.
But we find a lot of people, maybe if you're in like the facilities or maybe if you work for like some of the council guys, they don't want to have loads of tools because they can up and down loads of flights, especially if you're like in an urban area.
Yeah.
And they just want one tool to do like all their work. And if you're working in people's houses, this is an SDS Plus attachment for it, doing up to a maximum maximum of 10 mil in concrete. It's about
Or 110.
not quite, not for this one. I think it's off the top of my head, I believe it's 1 joule.
Yeah.
So that's just enough to do like concrete lintels and stuff. So you don't have to bring your SDS hammer as well. You can just bring a little Flexiclick.
Yeah, just having these two are definitely the ones that I use loads. And also just having it bare as just an extra impact driver.
Of course, yeah.
There's so many tools in one place, so it's really good.
What Jimmy probably just did very quickly without showing, it's so quick, it's so natural, is the fact that one of the advantages, you don't have to remove the head to make your adjustments.
My twisting action.
The twisting action was
and
ideal.
My prodigal grip is a big help.
But having the ability, again, to make these adjustments without having to remove the head. You don't know that? Did you not know that?
Didn't know that.
There you go. It's worth having me on the stream.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Other designs out there means you have to remove the entire head.
I know it. Let me have a go at that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
So many people are going to be watching the stream right now like, he doesn't know what he's on about. How do you do that? Oh, you just pull it off.
That's right.
And then
Pull and twist.
Pull and twist and you're ready to drill. Great.
So obviously with the off-center head or the eccentric head, yeah, cool. But obviously with the right angles, that makes a lot more sense. So you can get...
So you can pull that off as well?
Yeah, you can. So there you go. So now you're dealing with really nice...
I can't believe I didn't know that.
This is one of the best things about the live streams. We've been doing, Dan and I have been doing it for 3 years, and you'd be surprised how many times people don't even know about stuff. A lot of people don't even know about the Flexiclick system or the next machine that we're going to show as well. They don't even know about that machine.
Hold on, what's the next machine? I'm sort of anticipating what I don't know about.
You have to wait for it now.
Trying to figure it out.
Well, you know it because you own it, but a lot of people don't.
I didn't know about that. I've had that years. I didn't know I could do that.
Now, one of the heads you don't have, which maybe we should find and leave with you at some point, is obviously you have. Let's have a look here. You probably have somewhere a 3-jaw chuck.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
But what we haven't brought with us, but you don't have, but it might be interesting.
What can I do on this that I don't know about?
Nothing yet. Well, we'll see. Is a right angle chuck head. We've recently got one that's a metal head. The previous one was a plastic head. If you're not sure, if you want to double check what we do when it comes to the Flexiclick models, I think it might be, I did one actually, I don't know if it was Danny and I, or maybe it was just myself. We did a special just on Flexiclick. There were two 12-volt machines and two 18-volt machines. And this was one of the machines featured, and that showed all the different types of heads. So apart from, so here you've got all of them apart from the right angle.
And the right angle one will be metal chucked.
Yeah, it's plastic and a metal chuck.
Okay, that's good because you can have things with like bigger arbors on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that.
Luckily for us, when it comes to accessories, we do a lot of hex shank as well. So you don't actually have to have the chuck one if you've got hex shank accessories too. Yeah. And we got loads in the range. So yeah, so Flexiclick obviously really good. A lot of flexibility. It's in the name. But what I want to show you is the more updated model that we've got.
It's goading me now.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Look at the nice new shiny one that you don't have.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is still nice.
Mate,
there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing. If you've got a 60, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
This was one of the earlier machines that had also still has kickback control, so it will. Yeah.
Did I do it? Oh yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
So a very limp wrist.
Yeah. There you go. So again, just like we had with those rotary hammers, if you were to drill into something, catch it, snags, finger still on the trigger, machine switches off.
Yeah.
So yeah, even a machine of this caliber, of this, that's not even heritage, not even that old to be honest, that had kickback control. With the 90,
yeah, this has got logo. Yeah, and it's
even snappier.
It's got a computer on it.
All right, so what we've got on the front here is we have our own little control interface. On the 60, it's just an LED. On this one, you have what we refer to as a precision clutch. I might show you that later. And this one has the ability to toggle the kickback off. So a question, this is why I said to Dan, but why would you want to switch off kickback, do you reckon? Why would you want to switch off the protection? What can you think? What do you think could be the reason?
Hole sawing?
Yeah, maybe for hole sawing. But we find that if people
you do get bound up quite a lot. Yeah, you get a lot of debris in there.
Yeah, if it keeps catching every now and then, especially if you're using like the multi-tooth ones working in MDF or anything that's got glue in it.
Going through kitchen units. Yeah, they're the ones that take ages, especially the doubled up ones. It's really annoying.
We actually have a solution for that. I'll send you a video showing the multi-construction hole saw set we do. It absolutely eats through OSB.
So I've got a new set. I've got a lot of old Bosch hole saws. I know we're not talking about hole saws today, but I've got a lot of the old Bosch hole saws, and then I've got the new set that I've not even used yet. Can I grab it? Is that okay? Am I allowed to grab it?
Go grab it.
Right, it's just down here.
This is the one
along with my Bosch light as well that I've had. Got my Bosch light.
Let's have a look. Is that the one?
This one here. Is that it?
Not, this isn't the one, so
Okay.
we'll send you a couple. This is still absolutely outstanding for working in loads of material, so this will do everything up to.
Yeah. This thing is just the all-round gobbler.
But if you want something that does, say, brick and or maybe works a bit faster in OSB and like Conti and stuff like that, especially if it's really got a lot of resin in it.
Yeah.
We got some hole saws that are absolute night and day.
Quick question about the hole saws before. I know we're doing power tools, but where can you get the new drill bits for them? Because they've got that kind of hexy drill bit.
You're talking about the pilot drills for the power change adapter. Should be able to get them in all the usual places.
Okay. Right,
obviously all the online players as well as the guys bricks and mortar.
Yeah.
But even if I can't say names on our live stream.
Yeah, that's fine.
But they're available even in all the regular places.
Something that rhymes with clicks.
Yeah, them as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but what you're looking for is you're just looking for power change. Is that right, Dan? I always get the name right. It's the power change. Because they're version 2s now for the power change adapter.
Power Change Plus.
Power Change Plus.
Yep.
But the pilot drills, do they have a different name because they're slightly different? Or they same?
No, they still come with the Power Change Plus adapter. They are slightly different from the Power Change or the original Power Change adapter, which was black. However, you can still fit them on either.
Yeah, they're little. They have a slightly different design at the end. That means they fit, so they don't have as much wobble. I think is what Dan said. Right. But they're outstanding, honestly. So back to the Flexiclick. It's very, very similar.
This old ones fit on there.
Yeah, the same. Well, here's the old head. This is one of your ones.
Yeah.
Okay. They're actually technically the same. They're all backwards compatible. Work exactly the same way.
Yeah.
So if you have like you might have the 60, and you want to upgrade, you can grab the 90. You can still use all the existing heads.
Yeah.
The main difference really is not a massive difference. It has a much quicker, as I said, much faster. Oh, switch it on. Much more sensitive kickback protection. Okay.
Quieter as well.
Yeah, it's got a more up-to-date brushless motor.
Yeah.
It has a precision clutch as well, so this isn't the best way to demo it, but obviously when you set the clutch and you're driving screws, the normal thing you'll hear, switch it off, you'll hear that. And it's basically on a little I don't know, clutch plate or whatever, it's bouncing a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously it makes noise, it has a little bit of wear. What was that, Dan, sorry?
A few questions in the chat.
Oh yeah, no problems. Yeah.
We'll come to you in a minute, you lot.
We're too keen.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously you hear that noise. That's very typical, right? If I switch the precision clutch on,
Yeah.
right,
Yes.
it just sets it, and it prevents overturning and also internal wear. It's just a nice little feature. When it comes to the torque, it's only a little bit higher. This is 60 Newton meters of torque, and this is 64.
Okay.
So it's a slight upgrade. But again, nothing wrong with the 60, but I think this one is on the way out.
This one now, I've got to say.
Yeah, it's a little bit more modern, yeah. Now, I mean, if for any other reason apart from maybe just the ability to switch off kickback control, that's a real great benefit. You can do it with this one.
Yeah.
This is a connected model, which means it has the ability to talk to a smartphone with a little Bluetooth module.
Yeah.
But in order to switch off the kickback, you'd have to get your phone out, and some people didn't like that. Having a button.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easier.
Much easier.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And the most important thing is...
It's nice to have the modules, but sometimes when you're on site, you just got to get there and do it in a tactile way.
Yeah, we'll come across a tool later where having that Bluetooth connectivity is still really beneficial. But for this functionality, a simple button on and off is so much better.
Yeah.
And one last point, if you take the battery off and pop it back on, we'll always have kickback on as default.
That's standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we want you to be safe out there.
Yeah. Don't hurt your hands.
All right. So Danny's telling us desperately want to tell there's more questions.
Yes, yeah, I've got a few more here. The first one, from the legend that is Bob Law.
Oh, Bob Law's in the chat.
Bob Law.
Yeah, Bob's here.
You were telling me about Bob Law earlier.
That's right. He's he's the old school trainers. He's taught us everything he knows. He still continues to do so.
Yeah, and he's got a comment here regarding the detectors. Largely, please tell all that the tool. Sorry, I can't read that. It's the same as all tools. You need to learn how to use it correctly. So the most important thing is read the instructions when it comes to detectors.
Oh, Bob, come on. I can't. You sound like my wife. She always says that to me. No, 100% agree. Can I just say, actually, Bob used to work at Bosch.
Yeah.
Isn't that great that it shows such a good company that people who used to work here are still turning up and having a chat on the live stream?
Danny and
really
I,
nice.
we're equally passionate. We'll probably be online well into the next century. Who knows?
Will you come on my live stream?
Yeah, of course, mate.
Excellent.
Of course. How much are you paying?
Yeah, all right. I'll pay you a chocolate.
Oh, that'll get Dan, not me. No, I'm not going to say it.
He's not very well at the moment. He's had a bad day.
Yeah, exactly.
He's lost some weight today. That's all I'll say.
I'll pretend it's exercise. So Bob's point is absolutely true. Like, there's the detectors are obviously a bit more sophisticated compared to like a drill, for example. Even though we should say you should still read the manual when it comes to even the drills, right? But the detectors are a little bit more complex, fine. But what we've done, what I've done, and what Danny's done is we've read the manuals for you. Yeah. And then we put it in a video, so you don't have to read for all those people that don't like reading.
And also, there's a lot of things on the detection and inspection things that you don't know. That there's features there that can help you as a professional show your customer what's wrong or what's happening.
Absolutely, yeah. Thermal cameras as well, they're really useful for that kind of stuff.
Are absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's so good.
So what actually, you actually find that there's already a video for the Detect 200C and the Detect 120, which is an outstanding machine as well. And there's 2 how-to videos. As long as you can stomach looking at my face for 15 minutes while I go through all the specs and stuff. But I show off a really great tips to get the maximum out of that tool and also show you how to set it up and things.
But only watch them after this live stream.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
No, cool.
Otherwise, we won't ever forget.
No, we won't forgive you. Okay, any more questions, Dan?
Yep, got a couple more. Got one from Johnny Silviera. Any new Flexiclick head releases in the near future?
I would love if there were some. What I think we would like is some more ideas. When it comes to like different tool attachments, we had a lot of people asking for all kinds of stuff because essentially, if the machine's just a drivetrain, you could have a little circ saw or something, couldn't you?
Think about there's certain companies out there who've got mechanical ways of cutting pipe.
Yeah.
12-volt versions of that.
Yeah, people have asked for that.
Yeah, bespoke one that, like, that's roughly this sort of shape, but also one that you can put on as a Flexiclick for me would be brilliant.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Dan and I both agree that it'd be really nice to see some more bespoke heads. So we don't have to develop an entire new machine, but you guys still have the functionality of that type of application. A lot of people have actually been asking quite the opposite, which is like, when are we going to bring out a 12-volt dedicated STS hammer? Unfortunately, the Flexiclick is doing quite a lot of heavy lifting for us because we don't have one. Yeah. But it is a really good way of getting a small hammer. This is obviously an 18-volt, but we do a 12-volt
on
too.
the little 4-amp-hour batteries. It's perfect. All the 8-amp-hour.
So to answer your question, we don't have any. I haven't seen any plans yet for an updated head, but luckily the development on Flexiclick heads doesn't have to be that long. So those could literally just pop up overnight, and we'll just have it in our inbox that we've developed a new attachment.
Send some drawings in, I think.
Give us some ideas. Yes.
Yeah, pencil.
Actually, we forget that. That is very true, actually. A lot of the product managers like to watch our live streams as well. They want to know what you guys are wanting. So feel free, if you've got any ideas for accessory heads for the Flexiclicks, just put it in the chat. Yeah. Maybe they might be nice and give you a finder's fee, who knows? Maybe not.
Any more, Dano?
There's actually a follow-up from that question that has just come in. Maybe allow other partners to make Flexiclick compatible heads.
So what they mean by partners might be, I'll imagine you're talking about amp share partners. I don't know if you're... Yeah, maybe. That's a good idea. Giving some more flexibility. There's a lot of different specialists that make power tools and power tool accessories that we don't, and they're part of our amp share alliance, so they share the same battery as us, or they use our battery. Yeah, good idea. Yeah.
And then, of course, still got my questions. All right, Dan, have you got any more?
I've got one more. It's from Marcus. You can kind of guess what it's about.
Is it workwear?
It's workwear related. So we have, Marcus is asking, workwear? Where can he get the hoodies and when are they coming to the market?
I think the way to get workwear...
Start working in London.
Exactly. I think the only way to get workwear, we've said this many times, the only way to get workwear is you have to come see us, Danny and I, at the event. We'll sneak some workwear. We've got a little stash.
It's soiled, but you can have it.
Well, actually, tell you what, Danny is very sad because at one event, someone stole his hoodie.
Oh, really?
Well, or someone was given his hoodie.
But for quite a long time, I was always being given XXL hoodies because there's never any left. So they're now my dad's. So there we go. I've got a question for you.
Okay.
If Bosch could invent one tool for you, what would it be? What would you want them to invent?
Well, I'm getting old now.
I mean, you could be completely fantasy this.
Well, no, I'm happy to base it in reality. I'm getting a bit old now. And I'm having to load up vans and take stuff to your studio, for example.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be with you on this. Right. This sounds like a good invention already.
I used to do skateboard, right?
Yeah.
Do martial arts. My knees are ruined.
Yeah.
So what I think I need is Bosch knees. I need an I need some exoskeleton, maybe just lower half.
Flexiclick ones.
Flexiclick leg knees that allow
His
me
knees
to
are
pick stuff.
bad. He bent down earlier on and he was kneeling. He just kept looking at me and saying, please help me.
I let out some interesting words as I came back
You did. Like, oh, thank you.
So maybe it'd be really nice if Bosch, because we're electronics, mechanical engineering company, an exosuit, which we know already exists, wouldn't be a bad idea, especially if I'm getting old now. And that'd be good fun.
Okay, so an exosuit.
Yeah, to get me out of bed. Just get me around the house. I could just set it and it could drive me to work. It'd be great.
Okay, all right, cool.
How's that? Yeah. Okay, so back onto Bosch Tools.
I think that was a great question, don't
It
you?
was a good question. Right.
There's a few people in the chat who think that's a great question.
See, there we go.
Thank you very much.
Because they've got knackered knees as well.
I owe each one of them a £5. Put your bank details in, IBAN, SWIFT code, etc. I'll be there.
Right. Oh, okay, good. Well, then we'll try and make it happen for you. I'm sure we can.
So what do you want to look at next in my lovely pile of dirty horrible tools?
So the next machine we want to have a look at, I teased that the technology involved, because I said a lot of people sometimes still don't even know that we make this type of tool interface.
Okay. Oh, this?
Yep, we're going to have a look at one of the GDXs.
My workhorse impact.
Absolutely.
He said to me earlier on, it's like, what do you do with this? I was like,
Everything.
I just drill screws with it.
Yeah.
And also sometimes I use the hex connection on it for a few different things, but generally I just use these for wanging in big fat screws. And that's pretty much it.
So this particular model is the GDX 18V-200C. Now this one actually, I'm glad you've still got it. This is a discontinued model, but we've got plenty of machines around it.
Yeah, and it's still,
It's still good. I mean, we haven't got rid of this technology. We've still got plenty of GDX machines with this 2-in-1. That's the most important bit. It's a 2-in-1 tool holder. We've talked about it a lot. Obviously, you've got your 1/4 inch internal hex with...
Sometimes I always found my hex was a little bit stiff, but I'll whack a little bit of silicone.
A little bit of lubrication, because obviously it's a ball bearing retention. I've given yours.
There's moving parts.
I've given yours a little bit of some TLC.
You did, didn't you? I saw you spraying it earlier.
Now, beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. You've lubed me nicely.
That hole is nice and clean.
Lovely.
Right, smooth insert and
nothing I
what's the opposite
like
of an
more than
insert?
a nice clean impact driver.
Oh, live streams, dangerous work. So 1/4 inch internal hex and importantly a 1/2 inch socket on the top. But you don't really use sockets that much.
No,
Nice to have, but
but as a plumber, no. But if I've got to do the discs and pads in my car, then I'll just use my normal.
Absolutely.
socket section.
So believe it or not, Dan and I have been at loads of events where we show them a GDX that we've had. How long have we had it for? We've had this for like 10 years. I think we've had the GDX technology, and some people are still surprised that we've got a 2-in-1. And I don't think there's no professionals. I don't think there's any professional competitors that have that yet.
Yeah.
So that is still, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, we're the only ones who still do that 2-in-1.
Yeah, cool.
So
Hold on, have you got a new one here?
well, I've got a few. Right, before we go though, this was a connected model, which means you could, in case you didn't know, or you haven't tried it, if you wanted to, you could change the speed settings via the bottom here, but you could also calibrate that to different speed settings in the app. Okay, nice little button on the bottom here to switch the light on and off.
Yeah.
Really great, okay? Really nice high RPM of 3,400.
Yeah,
so
it's a
great
piece.
machine.
It's taken a lot of punishment.
Yeah.
So.
The 200 in the name is the maximum torque, 200 Newton meters of torque. Again, that's perfect. That's the right ballpark for a lot of work. We actually had many people asking if we were going to bring out a more powerful version. The Americans call this a freak because it's weird. It's got 2-in-1, right? So what we actually said is, I don't know.
I like this.
Suddenly,
I like this already.
But suddenly we came out with this machine, okay?
Comment if you like just a power tool with a bit of metal on the outside. I like a power tool with a bit of metal on the outside. It makes it feel more chunky.
So we brought
I do like it.
we have brought out a lot of new impact wrenches, and they all now have the unified look.
Metal on the outside.
Yeah. A lot of the automotive ones we came out with always had this metal nose cone, but now we've made it more consistent across a lot of them. So it's a nice, as you said, it's a nice look. It makes it look really good. They were always really robust, but this really helps cement that look.
Oh, I was going to say, where's the light? Yeah, because that one was there, isn't it? And this one's higher up.
Yeah, we decided to move it. So there's a few different models that we've got, different lights. I'll show you another one. We have more than one light. But this one is the GDX 18V-285. So we're up 85 more Newton meters of torque. So all those guys who wanted a more powerful freak, we actually brought one out, 285 Newton meters of torque. This one's a little bit more complicated compared to the one you've got. There's a few models that have existed in between these two. So the GDX 18V-210C, it's a great product with that A/B torque selection mode where you can program it. This one is a little bit more simplified. So it still has a control panel at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. You have the ability to change between 2 different speeds. Okay,
Yeah.
this is not a connected model, so all this is
It's just done
pre-programmed
on
in.
there, yeah. And then
Right.
ABR.
So ABR. So if you put it in reverse, you can select ABR. Now ABR is something we've had for quite a while. We call it automatic bolt retention. Say for example, maybe you're a scaffer and you're running clamps, you're running nuts
Yeah,
off clamps,
constantly day in, day
right?
out. Yeah.
And if you're, might have had a late Thursday, you're up Friday morning, you're a bit slow on the trigger finger, and you might accidentally spin the nut completely off the thread, for example. You lose the nut, the washer, the whole clamp, right?
yeah.
If you put ABR on, what it does is it will obviously loosen the nut, it'll spin it maybe a few threads, and then switch off automatically. And obviously that gives you enough to take the clamp off or whatever,
Yeah.
but not lose. It's all
Lose it
still
all,
complete,
yeah. Down 4 stories.
That's right. It doesn't have to be restricted to anyone working in scaffing, for example. But if you're just running bolts, for example, and you don't want to keep spinning it off, you can put your brain to a little bit more to sleep.
When you're up on the scaffold, there's nothing better than falling asleep.
Do that. But it basically means it's nice and consistent. It'll run the same algorithm every time, so all those nuts will be the same length each along your application. The other one it will do is the other pre-mode is I put it in forward. You might not be able to see it on the close-up camera, but now there's just like a little indication of a little bit of metal there.
Yeah, little girder.
That's right. That's designed for like self-tapping screws, tech screws or whatever.
Yeah.
So that means when you drive the tech screws in, the machine will automatically switch off before,
You start wanging all the thread through.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it'll stop you taking the heads off really. So it just controls the amount of torque. So once it's gone through, it'll tighten a little bit and switch off.
Yeah.
With the other machines in our range, like the GDX 18V-210C, you've got full ability to program that based on the Toolbox app.
Okay.
But this is not a connected machine, so we've made it a bit more simple. These presets are all for the majority of applications, you just set the preset and it will do a sufficient job for you.
Okay.
So we've simplified it and made this actually a much more cost-effective model. So we're going to leave you one of these to have a little play with. Aren't we good?
What a day.
This should have been Christmas, isn't it, really?
It is, isn't it?
But again,
It's a lot more smoother as well, isn't it?
and you'll probably see I feel like it's a little bit smaller as well. Just well, maybe it's
I
not
mean,
the same.
this is like Arnold, and this is probably Stallone. Just a little bit less muscle.
I think what it is, I think it's roughly the same size. It definitely feels smaller. Same head length
just a bit
roughly.
more chunky. It's got better delts.
Yeah,
That's the way of
exactly.
putting
That's
it.
right.
So,
Well, it's got to get that extra 85 newton meters of torque in there somewhere. But they're both brushless machines. But
Yeah.
if you're in the market for a slightly more powerful or significantly more powerful GDX, 285 is the way to go.
or one with a little bit of metal in it as well, which is what I like a lot, as you know.
And think if there's anything else different, really. No, I think it's a slightly faster motor, 3,400 RPM, and this one is 3,800. So more powerful, but also slightly faster as well. So we know what you guys are like. You want to try and get those screws in quickly as possible.
And
get it done.
safely, and to the right depth,
Of
you know,
course.
without ripping things off.
Of course, yeah. Well, you can, and that's why we give you 2 speed settings in case people never use them. They're just full speed all the time, but you can control the speed if you wanted to.
Yeah.
All right, before we stop for some questions, there's one product I have to show you, right? Because you were telling me earlier that actually you don't, even though you've got the GDX, great model,
Yeah.
you don't tend to run the bolts much. You don't tend to run the sockets.
It's always, sockets. So that's usually got a,
Yes, go on.
what
You
have we
can
got
carry
now
on.
then? This has usually got your standard kind of Phillips head, just your wood screw head, Posi 2, or Phillips head 2. So that's what I run it there most of the time.
Right.
What have we got here?
So, GDX 2-in-1, or how about a designated or dedicated impact driver? Okay, so this is just 1/4 inch internal hex.
Okay.
So perfect for just screw driving applications.
So,
Yeah, that's
so
all.
hold on, depth-wise, just looking at it straight away, it's a lot,
It's much smaller.
more
We'll do it
compact.
this way towards Ella's cam. You can see
Yeah.
exactly how much smaller this particular machine is.
it's a lot less like length. I guess.
It's thinner, small. It's definitely smaller.
Less length, less girth.
Definitely head length, definitely slimmer. So this is the GDR 18V-220C. It's a GDR, which means it's got the 1/4 inch internal hex system. It is 220 newton meters of torque.
Okay.
But-
That's stronger than my old one.
It is. It's,
that's
stronger.
200. Yeah.
It's not as strong as the 2-in-1. However, one thing that's particularly important is it's much smaller and also has a very, very high RPM. This one is, if I remember correctly, 3,400. So actually technically not as fast as it. However, because it has a new we call it second generation brushless motor, it produces a lot more direct torque. So when you're driving in screws, maybe the longer screws,
Yeah.
it will drive them in quicker because it doesn't have to impact until later.
Okay.
'Cause it has more power. So if you're just screw driving, much faster. Another thing is it has a single hand bit insertion.
Yeah,
Instead
so
of having to pull the collar
back.
first, it's the other way around. So you pop it in, locks in, and then to remove it, you pull it out. So.
And that's all. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I mean,
like it.
I'll be honest, other people have done that, so it's important that
two lights.
Two lights. The ability to switch the lights. So, yep,
Oh,
top.
you're getting that? 2 lights? Wow.
And the ability in the app, because remember this is a connected product, so you
Yeah.
can switch that. You can log into your Toolbox app and make some modifications. One of the things you can do is switch the LEDs on or off depending on which ones you want. Personally, keep both on. It's ideal.
I know. Yeah, especially since a lot of the time, if I'm anywhere, I'll just flick the trigger and you've got a little torch in your hand. So you're sort of looking about. I could be the leprechaun.
Now, aren't we nice? I think we should try. What do you reckon? Do you want me to leave one of these with you as well to have a play with?
Yeah. I mean, what do I have to do at the end of all this? After hours on the Bosch UK channel.
Well, to be honest, look, you've been nice enough to let us come to your gaff to do our live stream.
Well, do you want to come next week as well?
Well,
I can build up my amount of Bosch tools I have.
So small drip machine, a lot more power, a lot more speed, and as you say, because you're mostly driving screws, I mean, yeah, you've got quite a good option because you've got the Flexiclick already, which gives you into nice small spots.
Yeah.
But if you don't need it, and you just want to be quick and easy with a much smaller machine that's very fast, lots of power, that's your one to go
Yeah,
for.
because this one here is always clipped on the side of my bag, which is down there. I'll show you later if you like. But yeah, this would be just a lot smaller, just clipped on the edge of your bag, on your hand tools bags, a lot less clunking in the way. Yeah, really like that, and I'm glad you're giving it to me. Thank you.
Long-term loan. Well, I don't know, chat, should we let him have it? Because we're already giving him a GDX. And they'll be like, no, give it to the chat. They want that. They want
The doors are locked. Not getting out, and we're underground.
Yeah. Now, last bit before I move away from this machine, because, and honestly, I think this is really our flagship when it comes to our impact drivers. I mentioned it earlier, the machine has obviously 3 speed settings. Okay, again, you can custom those in the app, and it has that A/B, that torque mode selection system, which means you can program it for all kinds of different applications. You can program it for different screw lengths, or screwing applications for wood screws, tech screws, so metal screws, and it also has the ability to do that ABR and that bolt programming. So you can have auto slowdown, you can have auto stop, you can have bolt retention. So you can literally do everything on this machine. So it's all bells and whistles. If that's what you're looking for, GDI 18V-220C. Great machine.
As well.
Yeah, connected as well. So it's a great machine. So,
Muy bien.
Before we move on, we take un momento. Danny, any questions maybe about anything else? Any of the products maybe, or any other questions?
Got a couple of comments on there. Radine has said, if you don't want it, Jimmy, he'll have the
There we go.
impact.
I told you, someone would.
No problems at all. He's quite happy to stay that way.
I'll let you know my email account. Joking!
Dan Procrastinates DIY has asked if the light on that one stays on slightly longer than his previous model.
I think you can.
Can you program?
I think I double check. I might check it now. You might even be able to change how long it stays on. So while we answer some more questions, I'm going to check this on the app. So carry on.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you a quick question, actually. Oh, Dan, sorry?
No, I got one more from Oliver Smith. As a plumber himself, the only other tool he would really find useful, and I can see his point here, would be a cordless inflator for expansion vessels.
Oh, yeah.
They're definitely a must-have, especially with a longer tube as well to get to the.
Yeah, they're kind of on the
ones.
market, especially if you're trying to, like Dan said, you're often your red expansion vessels for your heat and sits water you can get to quite easily, but it's the potable water ones you get on a pressurised cylinder. I was pumping one up yesterday, and I had a certain type of 7 litre one that you've got to plug into 240 volt, get it all charged up, take it upstairs. This one was right at the top at the back of the airing cupboard, and you're up there just trying to do it. So yes, a nice little 12 volt one would probably be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Along with some 12 volt cutters, 15 and 22. That's all you need to do. That'd be absolutely class.
Yeah.
Question for you as well then.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, before we answer that, yes, you can. You can connect this to the app, and you can change it up to 99 seconds. We call it afterglow. So the LEDs can stay on from 1 to 99 seconds.
Okay.
So there you go. You can.
There you go. If you could take up a trade, any trade.
Electrician.
Okay. There
Because
you go.
I've got a mortgage to pay, and I've heard rumours.
But not a plumber. I mean, Sparkies and plumbers, we get paid roughly the same.
Oh, okay, really? Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know quite a few Sparkies, and they're like, I go home clean.
There is that. I mean, I don't try to go near that particular side of the toilet, but there we go.
To be honest,
Sometimes it does happen.
I genuinely don't know. I'm going to try and move house, so I'm going to try and work out I'll find out very soon who's going to be the more expensive tradie to work for.
You know what? I've done a lot of electrical work, and I think there's more job satisfaction getting someone's house warm when all the radiators get hot and stuff than there is on just flicking a switch and going, oh look, all your LEDs have come on in a line in your kitchen. Yeah. So don't get me wrong, Sparky's
we're going to start a fight now, aren't we?
I love Sparky's.
People are going to be really upset.
The chippies that annoy me, they keep putting their timber across where I'm supposed to be putting the flue out of the ceiling. But Sparky's and plumbers
now, to answer his question seriously, I don't have a preference. I'm equal opportunity.
I'd love it if you just said, I want to be either a scaffolder or a plasterer, because let's face it, it means you're a druggie.
I'm not. I'm not tough enough to be a plasterer. So there are loads of there's a load of guys out in the chat that are well-established trades. I know Marcus is a plasterer, for example. I know he has a really hard job.
Is he near me? Isn't he?
Yeah, he's near you.
Yeah, he's near Cambridge. Hi, Marcus.
And I think I'm a bit soft now in my 40s. I just don't think I'm built to I have to do a soft trade. So Sparky.
Painter.
Paint. I've done a bit of painting.
Oh mate, yes. I could never be.
I could easily do that.
Me nuts. You should get a Bosch paint thing that goes like that. Well, it can cut in.
Tell you what, Dan and I have mentioned this a few times. In the DIY range, there's some really good sprayers. In the pro range, we don't have any paint sprayers, but luckily for us, Wagner is one of our amp share partners, and they do really good paint sprayers.
As long as they have paint sprayers that automatically avoid copper pipe, that'd be great. That's all I want.
I don't know, Wagner. If you're in the chat, Wagner, doubt you are. But if you do, if you see this video, let us know. Right.
So, do you want to have a look at some more beefy, great tools?
I'm going to put these two down here.
I thought they were going over here, this side.
They'll get there eventually.
Okay.
Next machine we want to have a look at is your multi-tool. Your GOP.
Oh. Yeah.
Right, so this one's well used.
The wrong battery, this one. I tend to use the ramp out beast.
So multi-tools, you must use this a lot, right?
Yeah, this gets used so much. It's just the plumber's get out tool. Quickly skill holes in floorboards, ceilings, walls. Sometimes you've got to cut pipe that you can't get a pipe slice round.
What did you use before multi-tools came out? Because multi-tools came into the market in the late 2000s?
So junior hacksaws for copper pipe, which I still have, sometimes you just need one. When it came to like cutting out bits for out of plasterboard, you just have those little hand saws.
Yeah.
And when it came to like taking out noggins in studs and stuff, you just got to do it by hand.
I mean,
or a circular saw or something.
I mean, I foolishly, when I was trying to do some work on my porch, I didn't have one. And it was an absolute nightmare. I was drilling out bits of wood, just trying to get it out.
You were working for Bosch at that time?
I was still working for Bosch. And I was like,
you didn't have one?
I was like, oh my God, I'm going to stop now. And I'm going to go back into the office and I'm going to borrow a GOP. And it was from hours of work of just trying to get in and just going one accessory.
I mean, the one thing about it doesn't matter who makes these. There's lots of us here out there. They're all the worst sounding tool on site by a long way. It's just this sort of sound that goes to your soul.
It sounds beautiful.
That's why it's on low. It's when you go into something, and then you hear your baby crying elsewhere in the house.
That's relevant actually, and one of the other things is vibration as well. They are because they are oscillating machines. They're not spinny. They're not. They cut via oscillation. And that's one of the things that you need to consider with a multi-tool. Now this one being the GOP 18V-28, again it's been an outstanding machine for us. We've had it for many years. Right? I'm glad you've clearly had a lot of use to it.
Yeah.
When it comes to people who invented it, I mean, honestly, it was fine that invented in conjunction actually with Bosch. Is that right, Dan? Was it fine with the OIS system?
What, the old orange?
Yep, fine with the OIS system.
They had
the little ring of holes which fit on the pegs of the.
That's right. So they had the OIS system with the pins, as Danny pointed out. And obviously we were with them making accessories for the OIS system.
Yeah.
But we had noticed that we know what tradies are like. They were being a bit heavy-handed, and they were using quite a few blades that were just too heavy and too big, and put a lot of pressure on it.
Push like mad.
Don't push like mad. You're supposed to let the blade do the work, but they're pushed too bad, and then they'll damage or break those pins.
Like you get fire coming out of where you're cutting it.
So what we found was with the original multi-tools on that pin system, that IS system, that those pins were breaking. And obviously we don't want a product that's that's not subpar, but that had some flaws that we could overcome.
Yeah.
So we, being Bosch and in conjunction with Fine, both two German companies actually, we decided we're going to try and reinvent or try and redesign the interface. So that's where this whole Starlock system comes from.
Yeah.
So that's what this is. There's no pins here. There's just this, what we call a 3D jelly mold, essentially. Better for power transfer, but doesn't have the problem of the pins.
And it's so much quicker
Oh,
to
mate,
get on and off. Because I remember it used to be, I used to get like a 4mm Allen key out to loosen it off, and it was a nightmare.
I mean, everyone on the live stream's seen me do this a million times, but the ability to get the blade on and off really quickly, especially on the Bosch models, because the Bosch models have always had, the exception of maybe 2 models, I think.
Yeah.
A quick blade removal. So not only do these get
Especially
hot,
when they're baking on.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
And again, if you're using a multi-tool correctly, I say correctly, you're probably changing the angle all the time.
Yeah.
So the ability to do that quickly just must be an absolute time saver. Right, so that's one of the reasons why, I like working for Bosch, because I think the multi-tool, like our multi-tool, is great. But 28, it's the older model, believe it or not. There is a newer model.
I'm out of date again. I literally feel like an old man. I'm not keeping up with the time.
You're too busy working and making money.
While he's getting that, I just want to show you. Ella, can you zoom in on this? So Chris made me take this off, because he was like, you can't let people see that. But this is my Bosch multi-material Starlock. As you can see, it's got burnt bits of plastic on it and stuff. I've had this on here. I think I've had this on here for about 3 months now.
But it doesn't matter. No, but if Ella can see, that's still got all its teeth.
It's still got all its teeth, and it's still cutting fairly well, I think. And that's, I mean, the amount of use it gets, you can see it's all bent up and everything.
I mean,
I'll be sad when this one goes. I will.
Well, what you've got there, and that's one of the reasons why this has lasted so long. Not only is this multi-material, so this is got using carbide, which means that those teeth will stay sharp for longer before burning out.
Through like metal, wood, bone, anything.
You mean, do you have to, I mean, again, multi-material, I mean, the teeth are tiny, right? So even though they're carbide, you can, like anything, you can damage it. But I can tell you are sympathetic. If you're using a multi-tool the right way, not just leaning on it like...
I've used it on brick.
It's fine.
It's gone into brick.
That's fine, you can do brick.
All right. I wonder why I hadn't gone right on brick. Because sometimes you just push straight through like a bit of architrave or something. Oh, I'm in a brick now.
And that's what I was going to say. There's 2 different blades that I think are really probably quite important for someone of your trade. We actually do have a kit.
Especially if you're going through studs with, like you're going through floorboards with nails.
Yeah. So there's an electrician and drywall kit that comes in a nice little box here.
It's got a lovely kit, that does.
Yeah, it's good. It's got quite a few blades that I actually really like. Obviously, it comes with the multi-material dual tech blade.
Okay, yeah, for going in and...
So that's carbide. And then you've got the metal blade also running carbide. We have a few of these wooden and metal blades for general use as well. So this is a nice, like, almost like a starter. No, I can't call it a starter kit, but it's a really good kit to have a lot of work. But because we sell multi-tool blades individually, or... When I say individually, you can just buy multiples of the same blade, 1 or I think it's 5 or 20 depending. But the 2 blades that I really swear by are these 2. Okay,
well, so multi-material every time.
Multi-material.
It covers everything.
Absolutely.
Pretty much.
But if you find that you are maybe predominantly working in a lot more metal, or you just want something that is going to last even longer for just metal, well, maybe just cutting pipes, you can use the blue specific blades. So those are designed specifically for metal cutting. They're both running carbide, and you can see there's a little extra here, which means we've got an extra protective coating that helps essentially reduce the build-up of heat and help the teeth last even longer. Even though, imagine that lasting longer.
I mean, the fact it's got burnt plastic all over it, it's... I think it's plastic.
Hold on. I don't know, maybe.
Taste it.
But I mean, that's my point here, that when it comes to multi-tool blades, you've got a whole range of different types of blades, all color-coded. White, purple, blue, got this grey for wood. We've also got brown for like grout removal abrasives.
To be fair, not bad colour coding either, because I'm colourblind and even I can see those.
We are going to make it a little...
Don't do red green.
No. We are going to simplify it in the near future, or probably already in stores, where we are combining the purple and the white, because we realise they're both multi-material. Wood and metal is multi-material, so we're just going to make those 2 types of blades white as well. So we're going to do away with this. What do you reckon, Dan? Pink, purple, magenta, lavender?
Purple.
Zebra?
No, it's purple.
No. So I think that's the reason we're getting rid of that colour, because no one can decide on what it is.
Okay.
What's that little to you? Brown.
Yeah.
Colourblind, eh?
Everything's grey. It's a grey world.
So if you're not extremely Jimmy colorblind, then the color system on the multi-tool blades is
No,
going to work really well
okay.
for you.
They work fine.
Last thing before we move on or look at another machine is just to explain the multi-tool blade system. I'll pop that on the, I might have to tilt these up for Ella to see. And we have covered this before. Remember, there are 3 different power classes when it comes to multi-tools. There is your Starlock. You can see it's got the backwards compatible holes for the OIS. You see this shape here is for your Starlock Plus, which is this machine. So this machine can use this blade and these types of blades. And then there's the last one here, which is Starlock Max for, you can see, much more aggressive. At the moment, we only have a Starlock Max machine that's corded, but wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
You're going to get an 18 volt.
Maybe there might be an 18 volt, maybe.
Okay,
We
sweet.
might be getting an 18 volt Starlock Max machine in the very near future. So I'm
So obviously the fact that this is further away from the pivot point means
Yeah.
that these are moving a lot further and you're cutting more.
That's right.
Yes.
So not theoretically, that means you're going to be putting more pressure on the machine. So we have made it, we've keyed it out so people can't use a blade that's too long for the machine.
Yeah, okay.
But I would
People like me.
Yeah, people like it.
Basically.
However, I would argue that actually the majority of blades are going to be Starlock and Starlock Plus.
Okay.
So even though this machine doesn't have the ability to use Starlock Max, you'll find that 99% of your applications you don't need it.
Yeah, no, beast.
Right.
And it's always in there.
So
Just there
so
all the time.
So that's seen a lot of work.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, we got some questions?
Some wavy hands going on.
There's some
there.
wavy hands, but they're going to have to wait. They're going to have to wait because I want to film this first.
Actually, can I just get squeeze one in? PF Cutter's asked about any insights into a GOP Max, so he's preempted.
He's preempted it, but I can't tell you. I don't know what you're talking about. No idea.
So, well, straight from the horse's mouth. That's your answer, PF Cutters.
Yes, you're going to have to wait. I think we've been hinting about this for probably a few months now. Right, okay, so.
Oh, sideways.
Sideways battery.
Oh.
Any ideas? Anyone take a guess why?
Because then you can whack a 12 amp hour beast on there and no one cares.
Let's pop on a dual layer Pro Core.
Where's my 12 amp hour? Where's my charger?
Charger's over in the corner there.
Oh, yeah.
So, but you can see already, even with a double layer Pro
it's
Core,
always been a problem.
it's starting to get really difficult, especially if you're trying to work really close. Maybe you're doing, I don't know, laminate flooring or whatever. That's going to get quite difficult.
And I've definitely had 12 amp hour battery on that before.
Oh, that's a lot of runtime.
It is, yeah.
But you can see here, obviously, with the battery, in that you can put any size battery you want on there.
Okay. Oh, it's light. Really light.
Slimmer grip, so a little bit more comfortable. Same.
Like that. That's just, I know it's
Same
the same,
system.
but it's nice.
Yep.
And it's got metal on the outside, which I like, as you guys know.
All right, so slightly different model. So this is the GOP 18V-34.
Yeah.
So it has a slightly wider throw. This was 28 degrees max, and this is 34, 1.7 either side. Same speed wheel on the side there, so you've got control.
Can we try noise?
Yeah, you can.
Wow. Wow, it's so much quieter.
One of the reasons why
That's
is
crazy.
the actual next part, which is it's because the motor housing is essentially isolated from the housing.
Yeah.
It is a quieter motor,
Yeah.
I would argue, but also it feels quieter because it feels like less vibration. It's
Yeah.
actually 50% less vibration.
Yeah, no, it feels loads better. And I like the way you can turn the light on without.
That's correct.
You've got like a little.
You don't need me. You know it all.
You've got a little. And the leprechaun light. Wayne's World. Yeah, wow. Really impressed with that.
No, and that's
great.
the same thing. We were really happy to see a new multi-tool come out because not only does it sort the battery issue out, I actually know some guys that, I know one guy who actually got white finger from using multi-tools. Not one of ours, unfortunately, but that's all he used to use, is just multi-tools all the time.
Yeah.
And because he got nerve damage, white finger, he then ended up just having to be couldn't do on the tools anymore, he was just in the stores because of multi-tools.
Yeah, constant vibration.
Constant. He must have been doing it all day, every day. So what you've got here is you've got a machine that's got 50% of the vibration of this, which means, roughly speaking, you're looking at maybe 3.9 to 3 meters per second squared vibration, which is really low for a multi-tool. So we're really happy. It's very close to what's not the minimum limit, but the threshold for all-day use. It's very close to it. I think all-day use is 2.5 meters per second squared, so it's very low.
So when you bring out the larger machine, it's going to be similar kind of form factor to this, or can't say?
I can't say, but I would argue very similar.
Okay, yes, yeah, okay.
So again, guess what? I would like you to try this one as well.
I'm gonna.
And to let me know what you think of this. I think you're going to find
Can I
night and
put
day
my
difference.
old gnarled one in there now?
There
Look
you
at
go.
that.
Look,
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just want everyone to sort of listen to the difference in that.
You probably won't come down the mic, but one of the things is you just won't feel it.
Almost like an A flat, aren't they? Both of them. Lovely.
Yeah. So again, we've put our Bosch engineers have put a lot of attention on this machine just to make it more comfortable to use, because we know that multi-tools are such an important tool.
Definitely feel it. Like 100% feel the difference. Yeah, it's really impressive.
All right. So if you want to know more about our multi-tool range of accessories, trust me, Dan and I did an absolute epic, didn't we, Dan? Absolute epic mammoth live stream where we went through every single blade.
Yeah.
I think it
was it close to 100 blades?
I think it was 100 blades we went through in one session. I think it was like 2.5 hours of just multi-tool blades. Now, we're not expecting you to watch all the way through it. Hopefully, maybe one of the team has time coded that. If not, maybe we'll ask them to do that. But that live stream covers everything. If you want a specific type of application, maybe some abrasive fingering, then we've got a specific section on that, so you can go through it.
Talking about that, I did actually watch it with my missus, so that's really good.
I agree. It's absolute 1.5, well, I say 1.5, maybe 2.5 hours of pure Starlock juicy goodness. Right, let's move on to the next product. Now, this is circular saws, Jimmy.
Hold on,
circular saws.
Which one?
Well, your one. There's two. Let's look at
I've got three, but one of them I haven't got here today.
Oh no, I think you got three. The one's on the floor. But let's start with the smallest one first.
The little baby.
Yeah.
This is such a little beast.
Let me know what you use it for.
I mean, what does this get used for? This gets used for. I mean, this is like my hand tools box circular saw, which is something I never thought I'd say years ago, because the little babies like this, you just didn't exist when I started becoming a plumber or being a plumber.
When I first started this job as a trainer, not this job, but when I moved from my previous job within Bosch to this job as a trainer, I was so surprised when I started going out to events. There's so many people that absolutely love this one machine.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's one machine they all love because it's just perfect for single sheet.
Yeah,
cutting.
single sheet. I mean, anything from ripping down plasterboard, chopping little sections out for in floorboards, stuff like that. It is so good. I love it.
So
great.
now, if Marcus Horn's still in the chat, I've seen him in person at an event, and he loves this machine as well. He sings its praises all the time, even though he's got a
blade with it. It's one of those ones you think that you get a blade with it that isn't great, or it's not going to be as good as the other blades that Bosch do, but it's still really sharp.
Is that the original blade?
Yeah, it is.
Probably is still the original
standard
blade.
wood blade. So no, I love it. It's just so handy. It's just a get the job done kind of tool, and I love it a lot. I don't ever really use this bit though. I don't think, I'm going to sort of just do a pass.
You do max cut all the time.
We're going in. Yeah, we're going in deep right now.
So that'll be the GKS 12V-26.
26 meaning
max depth of cut, I believe. Hopefully, it should be the same on all the saws. Fingers crossed it is. So 26 mil again, just enough to do single.
I like nice little things on it with the torch inside, so much easier to be able to see. I don't know if you got that there, Ella. So you can see your finger as you're about to chop it up.
I was going to say, look at that.
But also, it has a little reading on the side for the battery every time you turn it on, just in there. I don't know if you can see that, which is actually telling me that I should charge my batteries up. But yeah, love it. It's a great, easy, nice little tool to have, and perfect in the hand tools.
No, I mean, again, I don't know if you're getting any people in the chat talking about it, but again, it's a big firm favourite, even though it's just 12 volt.
Yeah, no, it really does. I can do quite a lot. I mean, I even used that doing some shower board, and I used it to skill saw some shower board off, because it's actually less. I don't know whether it's the size of the diameter of the blade on it, but it's less kind of like mad than some of the other. I mean, these are brilliant tools for what they're there for, but if you're cutting quite delicate plastic, sometimes it's quite nice to have a tool like that to do it with.
So what we've actually just launched relatively recently, but I haven't brought an example of, we've got a smaller 18 volt saw, which is similar to this, and that's something that we might show in the next live stream when we actually get a physical copy in the office that we'll tease with you guys. Maybe before we'll show it on social media if you haven't seen it already. But instead, let's have a look at what your normal 18 volt saw. You've got one example here.
I'm going to like this.
I think I'll.
I don't think you're going to like this.
Let's have a look.
Okay.
What do we got here?
She's old. She's had a hard life. She's actually damaged.
You put tape on it. I
put tape on the bottom of it because I used. You're not going to like this at all. I bought, the Bosch porcelain tile cutters that aren't supposed to go on this. I was doing the patio at my house, and I had some 900 by 600 by 20 mil porcelain tiles to go through.
A man who doesn't read the instruction manual. I like
Exactly,
it, yeah.
exactly. And this is what I used to cut them with when there were some sort of difficult cuts to not do on a long tile cutter. If he's watching,
Yeah.
Ken from Hud's Tiling is going to be like, mate,
Well,
what are you doing?
Well, we had Ken in the office a little while ago, and even actually we showed him some stuff. So maybe we'll show you some alternatives so you can do that job a bit safer, and with the correct stuff with dust extraction as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Oh, with dust extraction as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Well, I know some of the things about this is my workhorse skill saw, I call it, but I don't know if that's actually what it is.
Technically,
Is it a skill
I
saw?
mean, people still call them skill saws.
The things that I just want, like I want that bit. That annoys me because sometimes especially if you're starting a cut, I don't like to have that in the. I know it's health and safety, guys, but I generally have.
Oh, that is the health and safety worry.
Well, I know, but I just hold it out of the way so I can get a good start.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll find as it goes to the weaker part of the spring, it will sort of go through the cut a bit easier, and you can sort of lose the accuracy of the cut.
We're aware that obviously that people have to do these kinds of things. We don't always recommend it, and that is obviously a concern. Okay,
Yeah.
So just to reference the machine, great machine. So GKS 18V-57. This one is not the guide rail compatible one, so you don't use a guide rail.
Just clamp a straight edge.
Fine.
To what you're doing.
Really great machine. There was this machine and there was the G model, which was compatible with our FSN guide rail system. Hey, it's great. It was a good machine. I had some criticisms. One, the dust extraction wasn't the best. It had like an adapter here, so it has like a dog leg that had to go out at the right angle.
I don't know where the adapter is.
Probably in the box when he threw it away. All right. And obviously,
Yeah.
it's an older machine and a brushed machine. So
Yeah, it's quite noisy. And I do find sometimes that the clamp for that, sometimes the handle kind of pops out a little bit, but that's
Sure.
about it. I mean,
it's had a good life.
Slung in and out of the van a million
had a good
times.
hard
And
life.
it's still going. I mean, I used it yesterday, so.
Right, so
Yeah.
what we came out with, I think it could have been maybe last year, or maybe the year before. Probably the year before, we came out with the second generation. So similar name, so GKS 18V-57, but a -2.
Yeah, it's definitely more. It's quicker. Clicking.
Yeah, and then we had a left blade bias and this one with the blade on the right. So we gave you the choice. However, very recently we came out with an absolutely beautiful machine.
Are you left blade bias or right?
I don't have any.
I've always
I have no
been
preference.
right.
I can use either side. I'm very
I
happy.
just like right because it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm going to pass that back to you. I'm going to put this one.
Nice
on the,
blade in there, by the way.
Expert
Brand new,
blade.
that one. That'll be knackered
Beautiful.
the day when I'm going to a nail with that. But there
well,
you
you'll be surprised. Oh.
that probably no. That's
Do
wood.
you know what?
That's put on wood. That one is.
Yeah, probably.
So,
Yeah.
I've got wood, but I could have one with metal.
Oh, multi-material blade. Yes. So
A multi-material blade, indeed.
this is the one I want to talk about. Right, we spoke about this a little. Well, this might be. I think this might be Dan's tool of the year last year. One of his favourites. We got the GKS 18V-57-2 GX. We love our names.
GX meaning?
Guide rail compatible, but also an X guide rail system.
Did you hear that click there?
Right, so naming structure: circular saw, 18 volt, cool. 57 max depth of cut, also cool. And -2, second generation, the coolest bit.
Yeah.
And then it's that GX system, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, okay? Because really, what I want to do is the tool itself on its own is outstanding. I just realised I haven't got the bit I want to show in a minute, but doesn't matter.
Proper connection to the Bosch.
Well, look at the dust extraction to start with. It's in line. This is like the bi-turbo machine you've got. So
Yeah.
the dust extraction is in line, so
Yeah,
it's
so
much
it
better.
throws it straight out the back rather than trying to get it out the side.
You'll also notice that it has it's an open guard.
Yeah.
The base plate doesn't extend round like on most
Yeah,
saws,
yeah.
right? What you asked
Where's
for?
the flicker for that then?
Yeah, exactly. So the flicker is up here now.
Oh,
So it's very well sprung. That's a health and safety norm.
yeah. So,
Okay, so it closes really quickly.
Goes back.
So it has a bit of tension. Nothing that you guys can't overcome.
God, so you don't have to go like that to get it.
No, keeping your fingers away from the blade.
Yeah, so you can just be in there, push that, or just get that with your thumb.
Yep. I mean, obviously, we say it's ideal for when you're putting it onto a guide rail,
I need
for
to
example.
train my thumb a little bit. Get
It's a bit weak, is it?
Yes, I need to do some thumb raises. And get that. That's wicked. I do like the indicators for angles on that as well, because sometimes on my old one they're kind of imprinted in the metal.
Yeah, they're down here.
Yeah,
on the base
you've
plate.
got there on the base plate, and then on the back on the for your actual depths on this side here.
That's right. So the viewers here, you can see all the way up to 50 degrees with the ability to do Oh no, they're not on this one.
Yeah, but and also on the back there
Yeah,
for your depth.
That's right.
It looks like a lot more accurate than,
Yeah, much.
than what you get on.
That'll be hard for you to do. Actually, depth. So you've got the little lever on the back. We've taken some notes, not notes. We've taken some suggestions from our plunge saws. So lever on the little button on the top. Press that, and then that's how you can adjust. So much quicker and easier.
How does it lock it then? That is so cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely use that as a plunge saw. As a plunge saw. That's what Sean Connery would call
yeah,
it.
obviously we can't recommend that, of course, because that's not correct use. That's not in the manual, but it is definitely very useful for quick blade depth changes.
Yeah.
Last little few features. Again, we've talked about this product when we had our last live stream on the new products. I think it was. I can't remember exactly which one, but we have done one on it. Has speed control, so it has a number of speed settings that you can change it for different materials, different blade types, and also the ability to have stop control.
So I'm into this.
Yeah, you are into
You
it.
keep talking.
That's good. Yeah.
Sorry.
So stop control basically means that when you finish, if you are doing a cut, especially if you're doing it maybe at not quite out of sight, you shouldn't be cutting out of sight, but if you're really at full extension, you finish a cut, maybe you're doing roofing,
Yeah.
the machine will detect the lack of load once you've completed the cut, and it will switch off automatically.
How do you lock that at a new height? How do you lock it?
Should be locking now. Is it? Oh,
Maybe I should read the manual. I'll read the manual on it.
I'll check that one in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
It should normally when you just set that, yeah. You let go of that, that will
And that'll
automatically
lock
set
it
it.
in.
Yeah, of
All right,
course.
cool.
The accessory I haven't brought with me, but it's not the most important thing, as you can see it on some of the other videos that we've done, is if you do want to close this off, the parallel guide can be flipped over and then you can close off, so you've got a complete guard.
Okay.
Otherwise, you use it just like a normal parallel guide, but
No one's ever going to do that.
it's got two arms, which means it's super stable instead of a normal T shape.
Yeah, okay.
Now, the thing I want to show, this is
Very
what
nice.
this.
That is
Right,
lovely.
so we said GX. What does GX mean? It means
Guide rail X.
yes. So what we've got here is our FSN X range.
How does this get longer then? Because you said to me, you can get that one longer.
Yeah, so there's three different sizes.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
the
it just
middle
comes in-
size.
Okay, I see.
So we've got 300 mil. This
Yeah.
is the 440 working length mil, which
Yeah.
is that distance here. That's the cutting depth.
Yeah.
Cutting length, sorry. And then the last final one is 740 millimeters.
Can you clamp them together as well to extend them?
Not currently. It's partly because of the design we've had here, because you can see that they're not flat. And there's another reason why you can't join them. It's because the machine itself attaches to the rail. Okay, simply fits on like this.
Yeah, and then you've got your cut.
And now that machine is now attached to the rail. It's got a bungee on it, so it will automatically reset after you've done your cut. So that's the reason why we wouldn't be able to have extensions. Not yet.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future we might design one, maybe without a bungee, so you can have an extended guide rail.
On it. Yeah, okay.
All right, so this isn't and that's still not it. Because really, when it comes to the FSN X guide rail systems, you see there is a gauge on the side.
Yeah.
So this particular one has 60 to 60 degrees. Maybe if I show this to the Ella's cam, you see.
I remember seeing this when I came over for the
did,
training
didn't you?
day.
That's right, yeah. So you'll see
The
here.
wheel nearly fell off my car.
Oh yes, that's right. We sorted you out as well for that.
Yes, you did, thank
that's
you.
so nice.
Yeah.
So you've got a gauge. You've got a gauge on the top here. So say for example, you want a car. What we got here? What's it? D10s. We've got a number of D10s. Let's go for 20. Let's go for 45. Let's go 45.
yeah.
45 degrees, right? Turn that off. You've marked it. You can see there's two pegs on the back.
Yeah.
Right. So easily just line that up. That one there. That one there.
And you've got your 45.
You've got your 45 degrees. If you want less than that, let's do something wacky. Let's do 15.
But a lot of pictures on roofs, 15. So
Yeah,
you might be running through stuff quite a bit.
Okay. So line it up.
15 degrees.
Okay. And then you do your cut. And that's set for 15 degrees. You just go next one, cut. Next one, cut.
Yeah.
So instead of having to mark it up or measure it, clamp it down, if your normal FSN rail system, set the angle and then you're away.
And I was saying it's nice and easy to get on the back with the special clip system that you've
That's
got
right, yes.
for the Hoover.
That's right. So friction fit or Bosch Click and Clean for your dust extractor.
Okay. Ah,
So you've got the
right.
both. We didn't have
I
this.
need some of these.
This is,
Just these are good.
mate, it took a while for us actually to, I think,
That's a good idea.
I genuinely think, Dan, that this was actually a suggestion from someone in the chat. Said, why don't your dust extractors have Click and Clean? Because, like your bi-turbo one on the floor there, that's push fit, you see?
Yeah,
and everyone
well,
made
I've got the Click and Clean
on your new,
on my Hoover.
yeah,
Yeah,
push fit.
so
But everyone said, oh, it's really annoying because you've got Click and Clean on loads of machines and accessories, but why not on your circ saws? Someone See, chat. Someone up there in the engineering house was listening, and they went, "Yeah,
Yeah.
why don't we? Why don't we?" And then what we saw was a lot of these second generation saws come out with this thing, and we're so happy that someone was listening, and someone had the bright idea of just doing it.
No, that is a sweet machine.
That's right.
Very
So
nice.
this has lived a great life. I'm so happy that it's lived a good life. I think, however, it might be time to put it out to pasture.
Oh wow.
And maybe you could sign it and donate it to your fans. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I'll donate it to children in need.
I'll be nice to them.
Here you go, kids. Play with that.
So what we think we'll do again? Hey, I think you'll find some good use out of this machine.
Muchas
What do you reckon?
gracias.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right. So what do we got, guys? Oh God, 6:45 already.
Is it really?
I can tell. 'Cause
Oh, wow.
This is the bit where I say to everyone, going, "I'm getting hungry." How about you guys? Yes. Let's move on to some new products. But before we do that, let's pause again. See if we've got any questions, Dan. What have we got?
I do have some questions. Got a couple of comments to start off with. Radine has said the live stream on the Starlock is great for a date night. So again,
Wow, he lives the dream.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how many times he's watched it. Also, Marcus has said to ask James, who's the worst trade to work with, and why is it always plasterers?
Plasterers are all right. Yeah, it's generally chippies. They just put stuff where you don't want it.
Are they the guys that put the walls not square?
Yeah, stuff like that. But everyone's trying to. We're all trying to go for a common aim. It's just everyone's got slightly different ideas to how to get there, and plumbers are generally right.
Well, I've heard that it's always the last person in the line that's the most miserable because they've got to deal with everyone's
Well,
problems.
that's
leading up
generally
to it.
me, siliconing up stuff. You're like the last person on site. So, yeah. What else, Dad?
From Kellner 420 says, hi, will there be any Bosch Professional compressors or pillar drills soon?
Ooh, pillar
Compressor
drills.
will be interesting, and a professional
pillar
pillar drill will be nice. Yeah.
Ella's really up for the pillar drill, aren't you, Ella? She's like, oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we only got one in the DIY range, which is strange because a pro pillar drill would be great. But I mean, the DIY one is good, but it's DIY, so I wouldn't recommend it for a professional, despite it being high quality.
Yeah. Okay.
Good question. That'd be a nice one to have. Maybe again.
Can I have another quick question as well? Where were we?
Yeah, you okay?
I've got another couple of questions in here. However, they all refer to the GRC, which we're not going to cover just yet. I'll leave that till the end for you because
Keep you waiting, yeah?
Keep you
GRC?
waiting for that one.
That's a new machine. Can't tell me what about it.
Oh, is that the one?
That might be the one we talked about earlier.
Oh.
Okay.
Yep. We'll sort those three out a bit later. So, Jimmy, over to you.
Okay.
Got a question for Chris?
Favourite Bosch tool?
Oh, well, that's difficult. You realise that there are hundreds of tools in our workshop.
Yeah.
If you want to
what's
see,
your favourite?
if you want to see how many tools there were, maybe 2 and a bit years ago, Dan and I did a workshop tour. But trust me, you've been there relatively recently.
Yeah.
There's a lot more tools now, and there's even more, we
Yeah.
can't get more on the wall now. It's absolutely rammed.
Tools and tissues.
There's over 600 lines. Don't forget, you've got all the measuring tools, you've got all the accessories and system accessories. There's too many. But my favourite tool, I even said it.
The little baby FPS.
I said this officially when it first launched because I know what it's like in the UK, and sometimes Bosch make hammers that are just, they're great,
Yeah.
but they're just too big. They're too powerful. We don't need it. I'm going to sound really sad here. The fact that we put kickback control on an entry-level, affordable, small hammer made me feel really. I said this already. Made me feel really happy.
Yeah.
Because that means that's us thinking about your health and safety, and there's so many people I've seen that have injured themselves using all kinds of power tools. It makes me feel really, as I said, makes me feel warm inside that we're bringing out entry-level machines that have that level of safety protection.
Entry level, but
Right.
professional
Exactly.
protection. Yeah.
But so kickback control, vibration reduction, right? Because obviously I told you about my mate who's got white finger, so lower vibration and dust management. So it's the whole package. This is like feels like this sums up Bosch for me. It's like good power tool, good battery system, health and safety, but it's not health and safety that gets in your way.
And the rest of the tools you don't like at all.
Yeah, they're all right. I've got plenty. That's the problem. I've plenty, mate. But if I had to pick one.
He wants more. Dan wants more.
More questions. He's greedy.
Dan's back.
Radine's back in the chat again, and he says that the workshop tour one is a perfect movie night for the family.
Oh, God, he's loving it.
Workshop. So, yeah, you know what? I think I watched the workshop tour one roughly 9 months before my my son turned up. So yeah.
Must be, yeah. See, so if in doubt, we're going to see the numbers
If
of that
in doubt,
views go
workshop
straight up
tour.
that way.
Yeah.
Let us know if you'd like us to. Actually, no, not yet. I was going to say, let us know if you'd like us to do another one. Actually, hold your horses. We're going to be moving site to an even bit bigger and more. Well, maybe not bigger, but definitely a more dramatic workshop.
Are you really? Oh,
We're going to have a
yes.
we're going to have a nice scenic
Okay.
vista.
Oh wow! What behind you? Like wildebeest
We're
running.
going to see we're going to see the River Colne.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have a beautiful scenery, but we're going to have a whole new training centre. So maybe we'll wait till we make the move. I don't know when that's going to be, and then we'll do a new workshop tour.
They're just waiting for all the trees to be cut down and the badger sets to be moved.
HS2s somewhere in the distance.
Caroline's face. Joking.
Right. So,
Anyway.
any more questions, Dan? Are we?
I've got one literally just come in from PF Cutters. I shall paraphrase it slightly. Jimmy, what's your favourite tool that makes him the most efficient?
Yeah, you answer this question now.
It's a hard one. It's a measuring tool. So, well, I don't know if it is a measuring tool. I'm going to be careful about turning this on because it's got a laser in it. But yeah, when it comes to pinning radiators on walls, this is fantastic. It is the GCL 2-50G. Green, the
Right.
G for green.
Good one.
GCL.
Combi laser, professional combi laser.
Okay,
in German.
yeah, okay.
And then 2 laser, and then 50 meters max range.
Honestly, I've spec'd out a swimming pool with this, like the dig, everything, like big distances, in the middle of the day in the summer, and you can still see the laser on that.
Outside.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, so that's like really handy. But also anything from just any uprights where you've got multiple uprights to do. I do a lot of stud work stuff. There's a video that I've got coming out on my channel next week when I'll be using that to build stud walls and loads of stuff like that. So you'll see it in action. And also the fact it's magnetic. This is just simple stuff, but I love it. The fact that we've got that tiny little twisty bit on there, rather than picking it up and moving it, that you often have to do with most lasers. Yeah, it's just really handy. It's got loads of modes. The batteries last ages.
That one just runs on AA's.
Yeah, AA's, and I've left it outside loads of times as well.
Well, that's
in the
okay.
rain,
That's
but it's
okay.
fine.
That's okay because
So-
this one is IP rated.
Oh, okay.
So this one
Yeah,
is IP
yeah.
rated for, I think it's 64, 65.
But even your tools that aren't IP rated work
Yeah.
after getting wet.
Yeah, 64, so fully dust proof.
Yeah.
And I think IP4 means it can handle light rain.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I suppose I could show on the wall behind us. Because if I shine a laser at a camera, it's... So yeah,
One
you've got
button operation.
Yeah,
that's
one
it?
button operation on the top. Then you've got... This is what I'd use mainly for like radiators and stuff. Yeah, so that's great. And then you've got
There's your plumb
line. So that'd be your old kind of swinging a... But I mean, plumb lines are great when you're trying to drill like solar pipes up through multiple stories. They're really handy for that. And then you've got your cross as well.
Yeah, that's all on now.
Yeah, and that's perfect for radiator brackets and stuff like that. So, yeah, there you go. That's probably my favourite tool. Hopefully that's...
Well, that's perfect. Do you know what?
hopefully you agree with
Well, I was
that.
going to say, that's a perfect segue because this is one of the products we wanted to talk about.
Oh, well, okay.
And you've done an excellent job already, so I don't need to do really that much. You know, other than I'm going to point it in a safe direction. Just see.
It's got something-
Everyone okay? No, got Ollie.
Yeah, don't shine the light at the cameras. You'll knacker them. Sorry.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
There you go. There are cameras that we find.
Yeah.
All right. So the point being is, if you push it beyond a certain point,
Yeah,
it
it
flashes,
starts to
right?
flash, yeah,
But
yeah.
if I let go really quickly, it can settle really quickly, and it
Yeah.
has the ability to self-level. Sorry, Ollie. Up to 4 degrees.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't have to have it absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
It will level itself.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
what you want it to
can
do.
just have it a tiny little bit on the woo-woo and it'll...
On the woo-woo,
On
like
the
it.
woo-woo, yeah.
Because it's green bean.
There's another word for that, but I can't say that on this.
As it's, you notice how I just move past these comments. And just
Yeah,
drive
I know,
forward,
you
driving.
do really well.
Because it's a green beam laser, obviously, I'm sure many people out there are already aware of the green beam technology, but for those who aren't and haven't listened to Danny and I go on about it at length, we claim it, we or people claim, they get it up to 4 times more visible. I could bore you
Well,
with the
definitely-
biological
yeah,
reason,
I mean, I
but
can see it in the sun a lot
Yeah.
more. And that was in the 1 week of summer that we had last year, when it was
Yeah.
baking hot in like the end of June, and you can still see that
Yeah.
over 5.5 meters away, spraying across into mud in sunshine. So
Yeah.
really good.
So yes, absolutely great product. I think this is still 100% relevant. For you, it works really well. It's still a current machine. However, I'm not saying I want to replace it because I think it's still a great machine. However, I would like to show you a new machine that we only relatively recently showed on a live stream.
12 volt.
Or, as you can see here,
Or battery.
or battery.
Yeah, I like
But
the
yeah,
way you do that.
12 volt as well. So it's dual power, so it can run on the a.k.a. batteries like you've got with this adapter. But this is going to be the GCL, so it's still a combi laser. It's 12 volt, technically, 12 volt. I'll show that in a minute. 12 volt, okay, and it's the dash 50, so 50 meter max range, same as yours. And we've got a new naming structure, so this is a 2-2. So this is a generation 2 two-line laser. And this one is going to be connected C and G. Whoa, what a name. Measuring Tools has got longer and longer names here.
GCL 12 volt 52 CG.
Exactly. So combi laser, 12 volt, 50 meter range, version 2, lasers 2, connected in green. Easy.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, this makes perfect sense.
That's right, yeah. So if I take out
I do like the way you have the option between going from AA to
12 volt.
Yeah, to 12 volt.
Yeah, I mean, look, AAs are really convenient.
Yeah.
But lasers can be quite energy intensive. They can be, and you tend to run them for quite a long, but you might leave it on all day if you're doing a complex job. Having a 12 volt is ideal because obviously the lithium ion tech, I'm just going to pop it here. Yeah, the lithium ion technology obviously gives you more runtime. Generally, can be more convenient because you can charge them, but you always have the ability just to pop in an adapter and run AAs.
Would that work over 4 degrees?
Yeah, works the same way as well. 4 degrees and 4-second leveling time.
Yeah.
Yeah. IP65, so we've improved the IP rating a little bit, so it's a bit more water resistant, still fully dust proof. Yeah, same UI, same mouse buttons.
Pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're in the market for another crossline laser, that runs on 12 volt, and you're not wanting to run something like the GLL 3, sorry, my brain's getting a bit slow now, it's a bit late in the day. The 3-80, which is a 12 volt machine, but it's a plain laser, 360 laser, you just want two-line lasers, then this new model might be interesting for you. But there's still nothing wrong at all with the one that Jimmy uses.
Yeah, no, that will, I mean, it's just the user often. It's me that gets it wrong.
I mean, that's,
when it comes to plumb lines and stuff.
But I mean, even when we talk to people, it's surprising how many people, still not on the wagon when it comes to lasers.
I was just going to say to everyone, if you haven't got a line laser, the fact that you can put it the opposite side of the room and not move it, and it's there, and when you drop something, it doesn't move. You know, that's what I love about them. You've always got that line there, and they're really good.
That's right. Yeah. So when it comes to two-line lasers, there's two different variations: a GLL and the GCL. So if you don't want a plumb laser, you might not need it. Don't want to spend a little extra. It's a great thing to have. But if you don't need it, then you can always get just the line laser version, GLL2s. Okay. So perfect. Okay. Yep. And you.
So I just
noticed. Did you just notice?
Just noticed something about it again. I'm looking at my tools in a different light today.
Wow. I should charge commission for on-site training.
Say as well, the new Bosch Go is great.
I mean, it was one of those.
That's what I'm going to say about it. I love it. It's great.
I mean, it's one of those things of like, we don't really need to actually do anything on it. It's 3.6 volt screwdriver.
Yeah, but the light's better on it as well.
Oh, this is the version 3, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a karaoke mic, isn't it? Oh, this, but no, really good. Love it.
Do you, just for small little fixings and stuff?
Yeah, like electrical bits when you're taking off sockets and things. Just anything that you just need to do a quick little bit of screwing. All right, and that's ready to go.
Pocket power.
A little bit of pocket power.
Now, we could stop to do a bit more questions, Dan, but I think, as it's getting a little late, I think we're going to have to plough ahead very quickly, but I think...
Bourbon cream or custard cream?
Custard cream.
Alternative occupation?
Oh God. Nothing, I love Bosch.
Favourite crisp flavour and brand? You can say brands of crisps, come on.
I don't know if we can actually. Crunchy ones.
Not salt and vinegar McCoys? Or Monster Munch pickled onion?
I like spicy ones. I can't tell you. I don't know.
There's not that many hot
I'll let Jimmy
crisps
do all
out
the
there.
brands out there. But he's doing all the questions. We're not finished yet, but okay.
Driller or a grinder?
Out of the two of us, well, not you, Dan and I, Dan's a lover and a builder, and I'm a destroyer. So anything that breaks stuff's a grinder.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I love a bit of grinding.
So there's all my questions done.
Right, you blitzed it, but we've still got a few more tools to go through. So let's do that very quickly.
Okay.
Right, next one up, we're gonna have a look at your bandsaw.
Oh man, this thing. Oh, right, Dan. Yeah, Dan,
One question that's laser related.
Okay, sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
Lewis is asking if the 6 amp hour 12 volt battery will fit into the GCL 12.
No, I don't think it will. Where do I put it? That's down here. I do not believe it will. I'll double check for you. I don't think you've got. You don't have a 4 or 6 amp hour battery, do you?
No.
I saw what you did there, but
Nothing. Didn't do anything.
I do not think, because as you can see here, it's. But we'll double check it for you. Strange enough, haven't checked. I wonder if you asked me that question last time, and I don't think I answered it. I'll double check that. Maybe we'll write it in the comments after this live stream's finished.
I don't think it will.
No, I don't think it does either.
I think there's too much space at the top.
Yeah,
I think the housing.
We tried to make it nice and streamlined. So for aesthetics, I think we haven't. But I'll check for you. Okay.
Okay, my bandsaw.
Yep.
Wow. You know what? I never knew I needed this until I got it. Like,
Just all kind of pipe cutting, yeah, or plastic as well, I guess.
And I do a lot of like welding at home, and trained arc welder, MIG welder, TIG welder, and using that just to cut up like box sections, stuff like that. Honestly, it's amazing. It's more good for proper metal work than it is. I wouldn't cut copper pipe with it or anything. It's too the cuts are too
jagged?
dirty and jagged. At the end. Yeah, MIG jagged, and so. It's brilliant. I'm so impressed with this machine. Some of the little design aspects of it, I like the fact that you've got the actual, for a right-handed person, the fact you've got the saw on your eye line, as you can see down it. I'm not sure if that's normal for bandsaws or not. I don't know. I've never had one.
Okay.
I've also found that it doesn't bind up much. But it never has.
Vibrations nice and low?
Vibrations low, it's really quiet. It makes the job so much quicker.
It's quite, I would argue.
I mean, you think the opposite, the other way of doing it is that.
Yeah.
It's just a brilliant machine.
Well, I can't quote anyone else's, but for our bandsaws, visibility is one of the most important things.
Yeah.
Good ergonomics, as you described.
Yeah.
Balance helps. We've tried to make sure that.
Yes, it's easy to hold. It's.
But I think correctly, this is probably the second version of the 18-volt one, where we had a slightly different handle arrangement. We changed it a little bit for this one, so you've got, as you say, like that kind of motion, or depends if you're left or right-handed.
Yeah.
The throat diameter is 63 millimeters. It's in the name, so this is the GCB 18V-63. We find that to be, as you hopefully you found that's good for the majority of the smaller pipes you work with.
And anything wood metal work is perfect.
Cool.
So
I'm not going to bore you with the blade speed or anything. Trust me, it just cuts and it's got.
And that's the original blade.
Is it really?
Yeah. I've used it loads.
Oh wow.
You know, and if you do have a difficult cut, just spray a little bit of lubricant on there. And
of course.
You're fine.
Yeah. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't remember which blades we offer, but I am pretty sure that we offer different blades for different materials, so stainless steel as well, different teeth number or material. But if you're using the stock one, it's good for your stock metals.
Yeah, it's just a perfect machine.
Great machine. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it.
Well, then.
And it's one of those ones you just didn't know and when it's the first time I used it, I was like, oh my god, why didn't I get one of these earlier? It's absolutely amazing.
Well, then let me tempt you with one of these.
Oh my god.
Right, so for those slightly larger applications, if you need a bigger bandsaw, so this is 63.
That's got speed on it.
Yeah, you need it. Well, you don't need it. It's more control. You got another machine, GCB 18V dash. You can see here, 127.
Will that take?
Is that saw pipe? Is it?
The saw pipe says 110 mil.
Well,
We just happen to have this behind us.
I would argue, yeah.
Wow, so it's got the throat for it as well.
Exactly. So 127 millimeters, plenty. Obviously,
It's great to see it.
Obviously a bigger machine. Still only running on a single 18-volt battery, but you have, as you pointed out, a little speed control wheel there, so you can control it if necessary. Well, you've got a bit more control.
That is an animal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's got this one is set up, hasn't been set up completely, so you can obviously adjust this to have a supporting bar.
Yeah. Just really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of a specialist tool, but I guess you're obviously in the market for these things.
Cutting 110 mil pipe a lot easier, a lot quicker. Nice to know it's got a thread to take my pipe.
Yeah, so guess what, Jimmy?
Hey!
If you could do some tests for us, let us know what you think. We'd really appreciate that. But I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Thank you very much.
Why? So we're getting on again.
He's flying through the doors now.
We've got to go through.
He's got to get on the M25 after this.
Exactly. We've got to go. Well, we all got to have our dinner, haven't we?
I sleep here. That's it.
So last few tools. Maybe we'll pause for some questions a little bit. But honourable mention, Jimmy, is thermal cameras.
Ah, yes. Oh,
you've got one.
You're going to hate me.
I've seen this one. You've battered this one, haven't you?
You know what? I think I'm hoping so that this has had a bit of a hard life.
It's still going.
Yeah, been dinked a couple of times.
So first off, what are we talking about? We're talking about the
Can you zoom in on this, please, Emma? Is that okay? Now, this is well, tell us what you think this is in the comments if you want. You see that?
Perfect.
Is it?
Not too much screen reflection, I hope. Should we modify it a little bit? Turn a little bit more?
There we go.
We should use this as a poll. Can we set up, I don't know, maybe it's too complicated to set a poll up at this late stage, but we can do a poll. What do you think it is, Blad?
Yeah.
We'll show them later. Maybe if they stay to the end of the stream.
I think I know what they say it is.
Yeah, of course
but
they
it's not
would.
what you think, you filthy people.
Yeah.
It's it's an outdoor tap. Well, an outdoor heated tap. But it does look somewhat phallic, wouldn't you agree?
Can't comment.
Okay, of course not. Now this tool for me, as a person who works on heating, but also strangely enough, a person who works on heating on YouTube. And sometimes I want to show people that the work that I've done is working. I've got that radiator working or whatever, which in a way means that when you guys are watching the channel or my channel, that you're kind of the customer seeing that we've got it going. It's a perfect tool to show customers what's wrong, how you're fixing it, and when it's fixed. Underfloor heating. When you can see the coils of underfloor heating going under multiple different types of floor substrate, but also drafts. When you're looking for cold spots in houses, under doors, things like that. These have multiple uses. The fact you can take photos of things, store it in there, and have the photo. You have the thermal version of the photo, but then the actual normal,
that's great.
proper photo.
Yeah, we've got two cameras on it. Yeah,
2 cameras on there. It's just a brilliant tool. It's great. That stays in my hand tools box, which is why it's battered, because it comes out every day.
All the time. Well, that's good. This probably, would you reckon this is probably one of your more popular, regularly used tools?
I know, I'm sort of, for me...
Obviously you've got to build stuff, but you love your measuring tools, clearly.
Yeah, exactly. These are so good for just showing people what's going on, and pointing at your mate's face.
Yeah, of course. I was going to say you could probably work out what they're wearing. Underwear, but I'm not going to mention any more about that. So GTC 400C. So in a nutshell,
the underwear detector.
Yeah, we've got a number of different machines within the thermal range. We've got 2 main ones. We've got this one, which is a 400C, and then we've got the more expensive one, which is the 600C. Generally speaking, the 400C's got a lot of power, a lot of resolution for its performance and price class, up to a maximum temperature of, guess what? 400 degrees. The 600 can go a little higher, and the sensor is higher resolution on the 600. But depending on what kind of applications you're doing, many people find the 400 just enough, suitable.
For me this is perfect, unless there's another one.
Yeah, if you want to work further away from something, or if you don't want to stand too close to it, because the 600 is a wider frame of view, then that helps with the 600. And the resolution's higher on the 600 as well. So if you're working with things that might have really small heat points, or at a distance, a higher resolution works. But if you're working in like a room, like you probably are, most of your trade, a 400 is probably all you need. So I've got Dan furiously waving, wanting to make a comment, Dan, or is it a question?
It's a comment. Go on then.
Hello. There you go. Hello.
Nice to be. Thanks for joining. Just a quick thing when it comes to the thermal imaging cameras, these don't allow you to see through things like a Predator. They basically take a reading of surface temperature. So if you hold something in front of it, it's going to read the temperature of what you're holding in front of it. So it has to be an emissivity value off of a surface, rather than being able to see through things. It does work quite well though with underfloor heating. For instance, if you were to turn the heating off completely, so you've got a nice cold floor, and then turn it up to full, you'll be able to trace the heat going through the pipes. But as soon as the floor gets to a similar temperature, you're going to lose that clarity. So again, it's very, very useful in specific applications. And again, like Chris says, checking underwear, always a good one. But it doesn't allow you to see through things.
Very important. It's reflected because as Danny pointed, it's reflected IR signal. So
I've definitely found that if I've got like a very shiny bit of copper pipe, you can't see it so well.
No, you're right. Do you know why? Because what you've got there is 2 things. Dan's used the classic word, emissivity. What? Read the manual.
Love that word.
So what you should do is you should set the tool for what material you are looking at. So you can actually change it. So if you're like looking at plasterboard, it's got it's less reflective.
Yeah.
So you can set it for plasterboard. You've got some presets in the tools for plasterboard or brick, all those kinds of stuff, right? Painted walls. So you can actually set the emissivity for the substance that you're looking at. And it means it'll still work without you doing that.
Yeah.
Goes
Okay,
measurements
got you. Yeah. All right.
Material, concrete. You've got it set
I've
for
had it
concrete.
set on concrete.
Yeah, that's fine. It's good enough.
Don't look at me like that, Caroline.
Yeah. So you can set it for the material that you're scanning, and it'll give you a more accurate result. But if you're
Radiator paint. That should be what I've got it on all the time.
there you go, man. I've taught you something again.
You got it on wood.
And what else we got in there?
User defined.
Yeah, so user defined means you can specify the actual emissivity value yourself. So you can look it up on the internet and set the 0.93, 92, whatever.
I have to go through this. Yeah. This is what my wife will be hearing when the lights go out tonight. Oh,
why didn't I do that before? So setting the emissivity value is really helpful to get really accurate values, right? You might not need them to be super precise, but if you're working with shiny material, what you might find is you're actually seeing the temperature of the room reflected.
Yes.
It's like looking in a mirror almost.
Yeah.
The trick is for those, not the most ideal, but actually the technical thing you're supposed to do is use like a sticker.
That's exactly
like
what
a black
I've done.
sticker.
I've just put electrical tape
Perfect.
on there.
That's all you need to do.
But I mean, like you're saying, the uses of these, sometimes when I wanted to find out what pipes are for what service, I'll just run the hot pipe and you can just, rather than getting up on a set of steps or whatever to have a look, you just stand there like that. And you see it get warm and think, well, there we go.
Yeah, so thermal camera, I can imagine, saves a lot of time.
Yeah,
and
no,
without it, I don't know what you'd do.
Perfect, really good. And probably electricians as well, and looking for sort of heated wires and things going wrong.
Loads of people, even if you're just doing building inspection and stuff like that, looking for cavities and holes and stuff.
So I've seen what he's got coming up next.
Yeah, good tool.
This tool's great. I'm going to do it.
So thermal camera, 100% in your tool bag, one of your favourite ones. So next machine, I think I saw some videos of you using this a lot.
Yeah, on the recip. I mean, one thing I couldn't believe about this, I asked Dan a couple of weeks ago when Dan and I bumped into each other in Islington.
Did you really?
Yeah, we did.
How romantic.
Yeah, it was great. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, it's okay, I wasn't invited. I better things to do.
But, yeah, the fact this can take full-length recip saw blades, which I thought was crackers. So for jobs like cutting the rusted studs between a cistern and a toilet, this is perfect. But also just cutting any sort of studs. I'll use this for, and I think you saw in the video that I was doing, to cut metal studs up, things like that. It's just a handy little kind of wrecking tool, I call this, just to
demo,
get in there. And also I've got so I've got the metal blade on there at the moment. It just twists out and everything just as normal to get it out. So yeah, and then there's the wood one there as well, which I think I'm just going to use for a light bit of gardening. That's all right.
Yeah. You know, well, it'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
If it can do wood and metal, it can do wood.
Yeah. I've got that in. Yeah. I always wonder sometimes where I've got these in or not. There we go. Boom. So yeah, love it. Really cool. Yet again, it's got the little batteries indicator on the side, which is nice to have. And also it's got a light on it as well. So it's just got all that poshy stuff.
It's a great little tool, right? It's not overcomplicated. It's got an unusual design. Again, that helps mitigate the vibration. It's not a heavy vibrating machine, but it makes it a bit more comfortable to use and also throws the vibration in a different angle.
Yeah, and the fact you've got a shoulder on it as well, you can kind of get up.
I mean, if you don't have one,
moving a lot.
Yeah, you really should always have a machine with a shoulder.
Yeah.
Technically, max depth of cut in wood, about 65 mil.
Yeah.
The length of blade does determine the performance, but
and also the throw of the blade, what is it, like how far?
14.5 millimeters.
Okay.
So it means it's not going to be the biggest because it's a small machine, but it's only running a 12 volt. But I think you'll vouch on saying good enough for a lot of your applications.
Yeah.
You can have bigger, more aggressive machines. I think you also have the 18 volt one, the compact one, is it? The GSA 18 VLIC.
That's not compact. I've got one that's like
you got a bigger one?
Yeah, Beast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All my tools are called Beast. So, yeah.
But we've got quite a few different machines when it comes to 18 volts. Maybe one I was going to bring to show you, but to be honest, I think you like this one so much I couldn't replace it.
This is fine. This is great.
Yeah, they got the GSA 18V 32, which is an interesting one as well.
Look how slow you can get the blade to go. See that? That is design.
Thank you, man. Right, thanks you.
Oh, I keep seeing what he's got next on his screen. I'm like,
now, there's obviously a few more tools here, but I'm going to look around the room and say, I think we might have to come back.
We're gonna wrap up.
We're going to have to,
one,
yeah,
aren't we?
we're going to have to come back at some point. I think
Yeah.
we've got to mention a few other machines you've got on the desk.
Yeah,
let's get the big
machines
combi
I
first.
use loads.
Let's bring that first,
Look
right?
at this combi. What do you think I like about it? You guessed it. It's got lots of metal on the outside.
Oh,
Like
no, you need this one. That's the one you really want.
That's true. Yeah.
So-
this actually looks right, doesn't it? It's nicely in proportion. Yeah, I love this.
Well, you're running with the most powerful combi that we ever made.
Yeah, it's a
to
beast.
date. So this is going to be
beast.
this is the GSB 18V-150C.
Yeah.
150 Newton meters of max torque. Okay, it's got kickback control. It has a very large auxiliary handle that you've conveniently obviously not used and
Never
lost.
used,
But it's
yeah.
okay because
It does work.
Yeah.
Just using it.
it's got kickback control on it.
Yeah.
I always have the handle, you see, make it easier to swing it around. Electronic angle detect. I don't know if I've told you about that.
Oh yeah. So 45 and you're 60.
And connectivity as well, because it's got the C in the name, so you can set the angle. LED on the top calibrates, and then as you tilt it backwards and forwards, it will tell you close and bang on. Maybe not a feature you need necessarily, but you probably appreciate the power.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's just a good all-round kind of performer. Drilling in wood, stuff like that. It's,
Like big augers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then, going into the sides of kitchen units. It's just in the bag, ready to go, really. And it's your main kind of go-to drill. Because I do have the slightly smaller version of, I don't know which one it is, of the drill, which I'll use for smaller holes, I guess.
But just drilling, yeah,
Obviously.
just drilling holes into like what, bricks and stuff.
Yeah, drilling holes and loving life. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, you've got quite a few drivers. Obviously, you've got the Flexiclick.
Yeah.
You've got whatever this other combi is, and you've obviously got the biggest
It's
one
a
for
Bosch
the big
one,
holes.
don't
yeah.
worry, mate.
Reassured,
Quite a random
reassured.
one. I don't know where it is actually. It's a bit worried.
Uh-oh. Well, it doesn't matter because, as I said, if you need to do a hole, got this one. That'll do them all.
You got an upgraded one of these?
Not well. We've got. Well, how can I say? There is something in the pipeline. But again, like always, guys,
in the pipeline.
I can't tell you too much because top secret.
Can we have a look at this one here?
Right. So let's not go into the last tool.
Is this the last tool?
I think we'll do the last power tool of the night.
Okay, cool.
Is we're going to have a look at one that you don't have. Right.
Yes.
So when it comes to what are you doing? Are you doing plastic fit, solder?
Solder.
Solder.
That's the American
solder.
way. Solder.
Solder. Sounds
Solder.
good. Solder joints.
Yeah, solder joints on show.
But then pipe press.
Yeah, crimp. Yeah.
Much more, obviously, a much more expensive fitting,
Yeah.
and obviously you need a powerful tool to run it.
Balanced out by the fact that it's quicker, and
No hot license needed.
Exactly, and a lot of the properties I work in are 600 years old and made of straw, and you don't really want to. You don't really want to be going in some of these places burning a flame about all over the place. So these, I mean, regardless of the politics that there might be around using crimp machines, they are here. They do a great job and they're here to stay. So it's a good idea to sort of get your head around them and also understand how the sort of initial outlay for getting one of these. I don't know what the RRP of this is. It's the first time I've seen it.
They are expensive machines. Luckily for Dan and I, we don't tend to talk about pricing. But you are right.
Yeah.
there is a significant outlay to get into it.
Yeah.
But then it's the time saving and the ability to work without the hot license is really important.
Yeah, and it's well, you could do it. Do you want to do it?
Well, we can do a little demonstration. What I'll say first off, we'll talk about the machine first. So this is the GPT 18V-19. There are two different models that we've got in the range currently. This is the 19, which is 19 kilonewtons.
Okay.
Top of my head, I assume, Dan, this is 1.9 tons, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
15, 22, 28?
What's head sizes?
Yeah.
You've got plenty, actually. Off the top of my head, you've got different types. But I believe this machine will accept a head that goes up to M32. Now, I know there's different fitment types in the UK.
Yeah.
I'm not the best as M and SV, right?
Yeah, it's annoying. It's just annoying. So
Yeah.
why have you done that? Let's just have one type, please, across the board.
Yeah, globally there are loads, but obviously I think in the UK we only really deal with those
Yeah, M
two or
press
three.
is really common.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's another machine that we've got in the range, which is the GPT 18V-32. As you can imagine, that's 32 kilonewtons, a much bigger.
I did see that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gigantic, isn't it?
That is a much
It
bigger
chunk.
machine, but we figured actually, based on the sizes you typically use, which is up to what,
22 really. I mean, I don't tend
15,
to press
15,
28.
22, that kind of
15
stuff.
and 22.
Yeah. So this is the kind, and because the other machine is obviously more powerful, but
Yeah.
much bigger.
Yeah.
This is the kind of one that I think would be more suitable for your day to day. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I know what a lot of people are going to say, like you can't get into tight spaces with them, but you know, you can't have this sort of capability without having the body around it to exert that force to get that crimp and get everything sort of watertight.
Well, one important thing to know, there's a couple of things, obviously, is the fact that trying to minimise the inconvenience of tight spots is the fact that the head is completely 360 degrees, okay? In addition, because we are working alongside an AmpShare partner, which is Rothenberger, who also make these press tools.
Yeah.
Our jaws are our jaws are compatible with their jaws, and they've obviously got the ring
swivel
adapters,
one.
the swivel ring
Yeah,
adapter.
yeah.
So you can use the Rothenberger jaws or the ring actuators, I think they call them, to get into really, really tight spots. So
Does it take the 12 amp hour battery?
no,
Just up to the 8?
I'm glad you said that because I got in trouble last time because I assumed it did.
Yeah.
But actually,
I'm not sure you'd want it to.
no
If you
need.
had the-
It's
if you
the
had-
weight and size.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You see here that the battery housing is
I can
reinforced.
see dudes undoing that and taking that off.
Yeah,
okay,
Dan and I thought exactly the same thing. Going
Yeah.
technically, electrically, it can fit a 12, but we've mechanically made it so it's harder to, unless you're going to take it apart.
Yeah.
But we think, look, these machines don't actually use a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And the weight of a 12 amp hour plus the machine and the head is starting to get up. And if you're trying to use it, so we've kind of suggested by the design.
Can't they? What's
They won't do it.
on? Come on.
Oh, okay.
So I've got one here. Oh yeah, you've got your
Got my
glasses.
safeties on. You
Where
know.
are my G's? Oh yeah, sorry, I'm gonna have to wear my.
Right.
These are actually fire rated.
Oh, UV rated as well, yeah. So I don't know. It's one of those.
Well, put it in there. Right. So first thing I'll say, right,
Well,
a mate of mine, he borrowed one of mine, and he put the. So have it like that. Is that okay?
Turn around a bit more.
Well, I want you to see this from side on.
Yeah.
He put it in like that.
Well, he's wrong then, is
He
he?
was very wrong. And he said to me, "I don't like all this crimp stuff. It leaks."
Yeah.
And he's a plumber.
Right. Before we do this demo, though,
Yeah.
I'll let you do it, to be honest,
Yeah,
because
okay,
I'll show you it's foolproof, right?
Yeah.
What you've got here,
Really?
a little trigger in here, and there's a little LED here, and there's an LED here as well.
Oh, so you've
right?
got-
So what you can do, battery's already in it. Okay, when I can hold the button down, the LED will flash, and then what happens then is I can let go, and it will complete
And
the
it'll
cycle.
carry on the.
Then the status LED, hopefully, if you've done a good job, not like your mate, that will go green to say I've
All done.
achieved pressure. So
Yeah.
as an example, flashes, I can let go. Okay, and obviously it's achieved pressure because it's clamped its jaw. The only other button on here is if I was to abort,
Yeah.
then
you've got
that
a-
goes red, and then I can,
You can pull out.
yeah, then I need to reset the pressure, and then it resets the hydraulics. So I will maybe point it that way so they can see, and I'll leave it in your capable hands.
Welcome to the press, Bosch press. So yeah, put that in there like so. I mean, you can even get your apprentice to do this. What, trigger on there?
Hold it down till this.
Yeah.
Hold it down until that LED flashes once.
Okay, yeah. So usually what you do when you're pressing as well, sometimes you'll find the pipe moves out of alignment. So generally a good idea to hold the pipe and then, oh,
So you've aborted.
I did.
All right. So
So I hold it all the way down.
hold it all the way down till it completes.
To be fair, it's quite,
There you go.
boom. And one thing I want to see on it actually, because they do get stuck in it.
I
Yeah,
need
that's
to,
nice.
you can just use
You
a
know
little
what?
bit of dry oil to help that.
Yeah, that's nice as well because often you'll find on a lot of these that the teeth on them leave a really sharp bit on the brass, but there's none of that there. It's really nice.
Yeah, if you
Nice,
do
nice
find
one.
it's catching a little bit, just a little bit of dry oil will make sure that the metal slides over. That's what the Rothenberger guy said
Nice
to me.
little bit of
I had a little
dry
chat
oil.
with them.
Okay.
But you can see, I mean, the other tip that I was told is you can mark the pipe a little bit with a little bit of pen.
Oh yeah,
So if it does shift away, then you know.
you can get it
but,
in. Yeah,
But as you can see,
and also mark it when it's done. And ignore your phone while you're doing this because you'll find you forget one, and yeah, that's it.
right.
We've done a lot of tools tonight, haven't we?
Right, we have
Man.
done too many. We've actually got more tools, but I think we're going to
Well,
have
no,
to
I've
save
got
it.
more. Yeah,
We're going to have to save it for another time because we even thought we were going to cover some of the hand tools you did. But I think
yeah. I've got all my whole hand tools box down.
so. What we normally do here is go right. So we've done We've done quite a lot of tools, Jimmy.
Yeah.
The question to the guys in the chat is, do you think we should come back? Should we do some more? Will you have us again?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, we'll
so
do
let
it.
us know whether or not we should revisit Jimmy's plumbing tool bag.
Righto.
Yeah. And maybe have a look at a few more tools. I'm sure you'd like us to come back because we'll bring you some more tools, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Maybe we could have a look at some accessories as well, because there's great tools here, but we didn't have time to talk about some accessories. So let us know whether or not you'd like that, whether or not having a look at plumbing tools or new tools is what you want to look at.
Let us know if I should set up a few little basic plumbing tasks.
Me to have a
Chris
go
will
at.
here to have a go. at,
Easy.
yeah.
I've done my bathroom. I'll spot on.
Yeah, a nice bit of soldering,
Easy.
upside down. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
With the water in it. That's never going to happen.
In here, what could go wrong?
I'll think of something, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah. So let's just round up. Last few minutes, Danny. Any questions?
Yep, I got a few questions. Radine's just come on and said we should go to a job site with him, which I think is a pretty good idea.
You know what? There's about 3 houses I'd trust going to. So because I obviously have to ask customers. It'll have to be Phil's because he always makes me a bacon sandwich or a sausage bat. He's a ledge. So
That's well worth going then.
yeah, isn't it?
Dan procrastinates DIY. Is that a real brick wall?
Oh no, no, it's not.
admiring
No,
your
it's
pointing work.
actually, it's a foam wall. Yeah. So
Right. So
we could have said yes, shouldn't
Yeah,
we?
you could have said
given away
yes.
a
Great secret.
It's very well done. I have to. It's very well done. And the last question is kind of 3 questions from 3 different people.
Cheeky.
Casa is asking about the GRC 18V-60 and the GRC 12V-60.
What do you want to say, Dan? New tool coming out soon. Apparently leaked on the web. Leaked onto the
Yes, it's
internet,
leaked on the
actually.
website already.
So you're talking about wrench? Yes.
Yep, they are coming. The other one was Casa was also asking about the GRC 12V-80. Is that something that may be coming in the pipeline?
Well,
that's certainly something I've not heard anything
No,
about.
at this stage. So we're talking about basically right angle wrenches. We've been asked a lot about these, and it's quite fair. Especially the automotive guys, they want their 18 volt and their 18 volt wrenches and such.
I'm definitely keen to get hold of one.
We don't actually know what has leaked onto the internet yet, but let's just say its launch is imminent. So I think what we'll be able to do in the next few, what do you reckon, Dan? Next few months, maybe? I reckon we can actually talk about that in more detail. At this stage, officially, we can't tell you other than go, oh no. It's like something's leaked, which means obviously something's coming, and we'll give you more details.
Keep it under your hat.
Yeah, we can't tell them that we might have samples in the office that we've been playing with for the last couple of days. But anyway, can't tell you.
Also, comment if you think he looks like Goose Wayne.
Better hair, though, better hair, yeah. Any more, Dan?
Other than that, there's an awful lot of questions that have just come in, but I think
That always happens,
Just
doesn't it?
the
always
insult,
Just
coming
about
right
to
at
wrap
the
it
end.
up.
Well, you got 3 minutes, Dan.
will be I think probably we'll save them for the next Q&A live stream.
Oh, okay.
Because we will have one coming up.
We will.
Imminently.
Yes, we will. So we didn't do one for the last T1 new products launch, and we obviously wanted to come and visit you instead. So what we'll do is maybe the next live stream, if we can find time, we'll do a quick Q&A one. I say quick, none of our live streams are quick. A 3-hour live Q&A live stream, and we'll answer all your questions, especially on those new products that we launched just this year. There were loads of them. There's so many. I think I did that live stream myself, and it was 2 hours 40, which actually
They always go
look
on.
at this. We've done like 2.5 hours already.
2.5 hours.
So is that us? Do you reckon that's it, Dan? Reckon we should just answer some of these questions in the chat after?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
I
okay,
think it's probably
right, well,
On the way home, whilst driving.
Exactly. So I'm starving.
What are
So,
you going to have?
I don't know. Whatever you got round here.
Oh, I'm going to go ribeye steak, medium rare.
I don't know. What do you reckon?
Glass of Rioja.
Can we expense that, guys? I think we can. Yes. So Jimmy, thank you very much for having us.
Cheers, mate. Thanks
Really
for coming.
loved,
Thanks for all your lovely.
Yeah. I'm going to wash
lovely
my
bits.
hands thoroughly after handling your tools, and then go have me to eat.
Thank you. So I'm going to wash my hands and put my mouth out. All the horrible things I've said. But no, thanks ever so much for all your questions tonight as well. If you get a minute, check out my little channel.
Oh, of course. You should know. You should tell it. Go on. What's your channel?
Called Plumberparts.
Absolutely
Right.
outstanding. Love it.
Dreadful channel.
Lots of facial expressions,
Lots
but
of
lots of really great
expressions.
tips as well.
Yeah, come and join me and Max as we delve through the world of plumbing together and beyond.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining us from me.
Bye-bye.
And for me as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Can we go and kiss Dan one more time?
Oh, not again.
Come on, you as well, Chris.
No, I work too
Each
closely
cheek.
with him.
Finish
I
off
don't
on
know
this
what
camera.
I don't know what's going on there. Go. I'm feeling somewhat victimised. Oh,
Put my finger up his body.